Yon. What's up, guys? Good evening. So, give me a sec. Nag-set up lang ako. So, hi everyone. Good evening. And walang music, pero mamaya magkaka-music. But, welcome to day number 6 ng Road to the Investa Summit. So, what's up, guys? Good evening, guys. Pa-comment naman if everything is clear, if the audio is clear, if you can hear me well. And don't forget to everyone, ay teka, mali na pala to. Edit ko muna. To win, VOD Investa Summit. Ayun. So to all of our live viewers, I just want to remind you guys, don't forget, this time, iba na yung mga papremyo natin for today for our live viewers. Don't forget to share the stream, tag 3 friends, use the hashtag Investa Summit 2021 for a chance to win free tickets to the summit. So later, we will be giving away one basic pass, one standard pass, and one VIP pass for all of our viewers. So what's our agenda for today? So our agenda for today, we're on day 6. So second to the last, but since it's a Sunday, we'll treat this as a kickoff show. So we're gonna be doing a short kickoff show with the organizing team, right? Maybe share kung ano experience nila sa paghahanda ng summit and what you guys should be excited for, right? And yeah, at later on, and then after that, we're gonna be doing a charting session. Siyempre, hindi mawawala yun. So magpapa-charting session tayo. Feel free to start commenting yung mga chart request nyo. And syempre, magpapa-raffle tayo. This is the biggest raffle for the week para sa mga VIPs natin sa Investa Summit. So, hindi pa kayo VIP, tapos plan nyo talaga, in the next 30 minutes, dapat mag-VIP na kayo kasi marami kami ipamimigay. And of course, for the live viewers later on. So, good evening, everybody. So, game. So, here's our agenda for today. I actually invited, siyempre gusto ko ipakilala sa inyo. I mean, you probably know them already. Yung mga kasama ko, not everyone was able to be, dito pala. Not everyone was able to be part or able to be here since it's Sunday, but a few of the organizing team and the on-the-day summit team, I invited them onto the stream. Maybe just talk about the summit, a little bit, right? From a back-end perspective. And syempre, ito yung mga paparaffle natin. So, kamay ko. Yan, mamaya, yan yung mga ipaparaffle natin. Diba? So, sobrang dami. And yeah, but first, before we go on with that, I want to invite my teammates to the stream. So I'll add you guys to the stream. So we start with the pinakabatak na kilala ko sa buong mundo, si Renzo. What's up, boy?
Hey. Good evening, mga ka-Investa. Thank you for inviting me, Boss Toma, to your stream.
Yun, long time. It's our stream, pare, our stream.
Our stream.
Our stream. And then, mga other teammates, si Kervin. Ano, boy?
Hello, guys. Oy, kumusta?
Si Kervin, yung
Thank you rin,
pinakamalupit.
Toma.
Pinakamalupit sa Elliot Wavelength, si Kerbs. Tapos, syempre, kasama rin natin si Jory.
What's up, guys? Good evening.
What's up, guys? So, kamusta? Kamusta kayo? Kumain na ba kayo? Ano ulam nyo?
Mamaya pa.
Mag-charting muna tayo para
Sige. Ano ulam mo, Kerbs?
Parang chicken steak, ganun. Ersaw, ganun.
Solid. So, guys, yun lang, I just wanted to invite, a few of my teammates onto the stream. Kasi, baka ang lagi nyo lang nakikita, syempre, pag sa mga lives, ganun, ako, minsan si Renzo sa mga content natin, si Jory, but there's so many people on the back end who worked really hard on the summit as well, not just the people in the front end, diba? So, maybe before we move on to the charting session, diba, maybe, guys, pwede kayo mag-share na konting words. Kasi lagi lang ako yung nagpo-plug sa summit, malupit to, ganyan, but maybe from your perspectives, pwede nyo i-share, diba? Why are you guys excited for the summit? Even if, syempre, event natin yun, but personally, bakit kayo excited for the summit? So, Ren, siguro pwede tayo mag-start sa'yo.
Alright, so, ayun nasabi naman ni Boss Tom, part kami ng organizing team. And personally, nakilala na namin yung mga speakers, napakinggan na namin yung ibang mga talks. And grabe, very different yung summit today. I mean, this coming summit ng 2021 compared to the other summits. Although lahat naman sobrang malupit ng speakers, this time medyo different siya kasi NFT, crypto, global market, sobrang daming tinatakal ng mga speakers natin for the next event. And ako personally, wala akong alam masyado sa crypto kahit na tinitrade ko siya. Wala akong alam sa NFTs. So, ang dami kong bagong natututunan and sobrang complex na pala ng trading ngayon. So, sana makasama nyo kami kasi kami personally, marami kaming natutunan sa mga speakers and we want to extend that learning to everyone else, diba? So, ayun, it's all for us. It's all for us to profit more in this new generation of trading. So yun, tanggalin mo na ako sa solo nako-conscious ako ni Boss Toma.
Thanks for sharing, Renz. Parang meron ng feedback pero baka hindi pala. Ay, teka, natanggal pala kayo. Ayan. So, next, Yori, share ka naman kung bakit ka excited para sa summit.
Okay, so aside from mga domestic stock traders, mga veterans, pioneers, we're also going global. And for me, syempre, women empowerment tayo. So aside from mga lalaking traders, meron din tayong mga babaeng mga girls na women na magtuturo sa atin about the stock market, si Miss Louise Bedford and si Marso tungkol sa NFT. Si Marso, sobrang interested ako kasi ituturo niya sa atin kung paano magsimula sa NFT art. So medyo artsy din ako, so I'm interested about that. Yun.
Ay, thanks, Joy. Teka, tatanggalin lang kita sa solo. So lastly, Curbs, ikaw boy, bakit ka excited para sa summit?
So guys, even before joining the Team Investa, kami ni Toma dati we used to attend events ni Investa nung live and physical pa siya nung wala pang pandemic. And it was really one of the up moments of my trading career. So parang doon talaga you get to read all these things dito ka sa bahay, you study all these things on your own. Pero when you get to attend events like this, talagang mind opening kung ano pa talaga yung pwede mong ma-improve sa inyong trading. So at least for this event, one of the things na super excited ako are the international speakers. Sobrang lakas ng lineup natin today, and marami dyan sa libro nyo lang nababasa. Pero I think yung mas interesting pa is yung mga recent lang na nagcha-champion sa US stock market. Sa US trading competition nila. So I think guys, I'd like to encourage you to attend the event. Medyo once in a lifetime opportunity yung mga ganitong pagkakataon na makakasama natin sila sa Q&A sessions. Tas talagang mapipick nyo yung brain nila at least to get the most out of the event. So yun lang naman guys, sobrang sulit to sa inyo. Guaranteed.
Yun. Ay, natanggal ko ata si Kirby to stream. So, balik ko si Kirby. So yun, thanks for sharing, Kirby. So guys, yun nga, baka hindi yung nakikita, like, si Jory di pa nakikita pero mabigat yung role niyan. Kami yung mag-host ng summit. Si Renz, hindi rin masyado nakikita pero kami yung nag-record ng presentation ng mga speakers, nakikipag-coordinate sa online. Si Curvin din. Ba, hindi nyo alam, si Curves, pero lahat ng events ni Investa starting 2019, siya yung na-share na rin ni JC to nung last year. Pero siya yung kumukuha ng speakers dyan originally. So di lang nakikita yung work na yun in the back end for sa inyo sa mga audience natin. But yeah, sobrang dami nag-put na effort to the summit. So I'm actually really excited for it as well. So, my bad. Okay. So guys, before yung last mag-share, we'll have the lead organizer ng summit share yung thoughts niya. But don't forget to share the stream. Tag for all our live viewers. Don't forget, if you want to win a VIP pass, or at least may 3 tickets tayo papamigay na mamaya na libre. Don't forget to share the stream, tag 3 friends, use the hashtag Investa Summit 2021 to win free tickets to the Investa Summit. Pero 3 lang yun. So, hopefully, di ba, mag-share kayo tapos merong manalo, di ba? So, lastly, actually, ako na yung mag-share, right? So yeah, never ko na sinasabi, but ako yung quote-unquote lead nung summit, right? And I mean, all I can say is, di ba, lagi ako lumalabas sa live ganun, but never ko minention na para ako yung lead organizer. But it's been a really fun and challenging experience in its own thing. But whether the summit is a success, well, of course we hope it will. Like, everything will flow smoothly, execution during the dates itself, and we already had 2 online events naman in the Summit 2020 and Investa Fest, tsaka yung Trading Cup Defense. So we kind of know what it takes na to organize or to execute properly yung mga online events natin. right? But at the end of the day, you know, a lot of whatever success that comes out from the summit, hindi yan dahil sa akin. Diba? Hindi yan dahil porket ako yung quote-unquote lead organizer, parang yung credit mapupunta sa akin. 95% ng success ng buong summit dahil sa mga teammates ko yan. So, hindi dahil sa iisang tao yan. I mean, if I could just, syempre, di ko na nasama sa lahat, pero kung mapakilala ko lang sa inyo yung mga iba kong teammates na hindi nyo palagi nakikita, na hindi lumalabas sa mga videos, na sa back-end lang, laki ng work, di ba, na pinuput in nila just to make sure that the summit is a success, right? My job was, for the summit, my main task was, sa mga speakers, right, ako yung in charge doon ngayon. Ako yung in charge sa mga speakers and you know, luckily, ang dami pumayag, especially internationally, tsaka yung mga finance executives sa Philippines. But, you know, even yung mga finance, yung mga high-level CIO executives, I needed the help of one of my teammates who had connections, diba? So, none of that's me. Tapos yung mga international speakers, swerte lang ako, di-replyan nila ako. But at the end of the day, for example, si Mark Ritchie, yung Momentum Master, di ako yung kumuha nun. And he's a big part of the roster. Si Kervin yung nakakuha dun. But, no, at the end of the day, you know, the people who lead the planning, right? Who created the whole concept, yung next gen money, hindi rin ako yun. Yung nag-handle nung marketing, di ba? On a daily basis, si Francine, hindi rin ako yung nag-handle nun. Yung mga Facebook ads, yung mga notification blast, mga post platform, hindi rin ako yung gumagawa nun. So, there's so many people in the team that put in a lot of work, di ba? To make this summit a success, to make it exciting for everyone. So hopefully ma-enjoy nyo. Right? We've been planning it for maybe 2.5, 3 months. Diba? 1 month planning, 2 months marketing and execution. And yeah, noong una, parang medyo alanganin pa kami kung magkakaroon ng summit. But, you know, the team, even if it was extra work, the team understood na, you know, it's something we do every year. We don't want to take it off, right? Even if it meant doing more work. Syempre, we want to do that for the community, for you guys. And really pushed ourselves to make it the biggest one in terms of caliber of speakers. Yun talaga yung difference. Na-mention na nga ni Renz. Yung speakers this year is, I mean, the ones before were also great, but this is the first time na sobrang taas ng caliber, right? Institutional and international level ng mga speakers. So hopefully, we can see you guys at Summit if you haven't, you know, bought a ticket yet. And if you already have a ticket and you're just waiting for it to start, 2 days left. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, the success of the summit will be because of my teammates, right? Not because of any individual person. It's always going to be a collaborative effort to those who were there in the planning, those who were there in the design making, in the marketing, in the coordination, in the execution, pag-record ng presentation, sa mga mag-host, sa mga mag-e-edit, yun, mabigat din yun yung pag-e-edit, yung sa editor namin. So yeah, it's always because of the teammates, right? So yeah, excited for what's gonna happen. So yung ako nang patagalin pa. So balik ko na yung teammates ko kasi babatsi na sila kasi mag-charting session na kami ni Renz. So guys, babalik ko na kayo. Paano ba to? Yung spot rin. At si Kirby. Ayun, guys, meron ba kayong final message bago ko kayo i-evict sa stream? So thanks for coming up, Curves, Jory.
No problem. May tanong ako sa'yo, Toma.
Yo.
How was the experience, yung in-interview mo yung mga market wizards? Like, naihi ka ba? Uminom ka ba ng maraming tubig?
Hindi, actually, may onting ka ba? Syempre, dati nababasa ko lang sila sa libro. Pero yung mga libro ko sa likod, hindi ko lang kung nakikita. Yung mga iba speakers natin, nababasa ko lang sa libro. May onting ka ba? Syempre, Amerikano, so straight English. So, hi Tom, how you doing? Syempre, medyo may onting accent. Hi Tom, I'm Paolo. Thank you so much for your time to join the summit. So, may ganun. Pero yeah, nakakaiba. Kasi yan yung tipo, kasi kaharap mo na yung dating binabasa mo lang sa libro. Tapos someone who was already, parang ayan na, market wizard. So, certified. Isa sa mga pinakamalupit sa industriya. And even when we did the presentation with Mark Ritchie also, sobrang bait nila. Magugulat ka, sobrang bait nila. They don't, even if they have a title, right, an accolade, they don't they don't show it. Parang they just regular people na sila. We're also really in love with the markets and in love with providing value to people as well. Kaya pumayag sila maging speaker no summit. Pero nakakaiba experience. Nung kay Tom, actually kami ni Renzo yung magkasama nun eh. 6 a.m. kami nagising nun para interviewin si Tom. Kasi baliktad yung time zone. So yeah.
Nice one.
So ikaw, Curbs, bago ko tayo i-evict, meron ka bang final words?
Final words, kailan yung stock market 102 session natin? Hindi, joke lang. Pero yun really appreciate Toma na yun nga, for this year, ikaw yung nag-step up. Really appreciate, sobrang solid nung lineup, guys. And
Right.
hopefully, if hindi pa kayo nakaka-convert dahil sa mga hype namin, sana sa speaker lineup alone talagang you see the value in the event that we provide.
Okay, Curbs, Jory, thank you guys for joining the stream. So, magtitira dito kami ni Renz, mag-charting session kami. So guys, just comment down your stock picks below. PSE, crypto, US, daanan natin. So, Jory, Curbs, thanks guys. Good night. Kita-kita.
Goodbye, housemates.
Bye. Evict na kayo sa
Good night.
Sa bahay ni Tutol. Bye-bye. Ano ba i-remove mga to? Hindi ko ma-remove. Teka, ayan. Bye-bye, Jory. Teka, spotlight ko nga si Curbs.
Oy, okay na yan.
Ano ba?
So guys, alam niyo ba si Toma, dalawa yung belly button.
Ang dami sila.
Dalawa yung belly button.
Hindi totoo yun.
Grabe. Binuking si Toma.
Ay, hindi totoo yun. Baban from studio ko nga si Kirby. So thanks guys. Ay, Kirby, Reg, pwede ka mag-music. So yun,
sige.
guys,
Okay.
just wanna, ba't ganun? Yung nag-music ka, may echo. Hello.
Weird ba? Hello?
Hello. Parang may echo. Ano ba? Ay, nawala na.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, comment nyo lang yung stock picks nyo. But don't forget, if you guys wanna win free tickets later, share the stream, tag 3 friends, and use the hashtag Investa Summit 2021. Alright, game.
Yun. Okay, so guys, bago tayo magsimula, appreciate muna natin yung Boss Toma natin. So, comment kayo, Boss Toma lang malupit. Yan.
Salamat, boy.
Pag di nyo yan kinoment, hindi niya sasagutin yung chart requests nyo.
Salamat, boy. Teka. Ano ka na. Share ko na yung screen. Ay, mali.
Yun.
Ba't di siya lumalabas?
Boss Toma lang malupit.
So yun. Ay, teka. Naka-crypto. Thank you.
Ako. Napakadaming fans ni Boss Toma. Ayun. Mukhang maraming gustong magpa-chart.
Yun. Game. Teka. Baban ko muna tong isang nag-spam ng shit. Nakakainis si Kirby, hindi ko alam. Nakakainis yung sinabi niya. Guys, di totoo yun ha. Sabi ko, di totoo yun. Hindi totoo yun. So, game, let's start with the charting session. So I guess we can start first with the PSEI. Before we move on to any individual stock picks. So, we start with the PSEI. Renz, Renz, ikaw muna, ano ba tingin mo? Mas active kasi mag-trade ng PSE eh. So, atin mo sa index natin ngayon.
Okay, sige. Sa PSEI, right now, hindi ko pa alam kasi wala pang key levels na talagang nabe-break. So, if lagyan mo ng linya yung recent high niya. Ito talaga yung...
Which high? Ito? Yung dito?
Yung sa left side.
Dito?
Which is... Hindi, sa baba. Sa gitna.
Sa gitna? You mean ito?
Yeah. Which is almost the same lang. So, ito yung inaabangan ko talaga na key level. And if na-break yan, siguro relatively higher confidence ako when it comes to the PSEI. Pero if hindi niya talaga na-break yung level na yan, ayun, medyo mag-iingat na ako, magla-lighten na ako ng load. Babawasan ko yung exposure ko sa Philippine stocks, no? Pero after that, di ba, meron pa tayong isang resistance doon, which is I think mas key resistance siya. So kapag talagang na-break yung dalawang yan, edi doon tayo pwede magdagdag ng allocation sa mga stocks natin. Pero before that, no, ayun, ingat-ingat lang muna tayo kasi maraming unease sa mga global markets natin ngayon and pwede tayong tamaan. Di natin alam pwedeng maging epekto ng mga current events, mga election, di ba? So, ayun, price action lang, guys. Ayun sa akin. Anong tingin mo ba, Toma?
Nainis ako kay Kervin. Hindi ko na-remove. Kag. Dalawang belly button. Nakakainis. Yeah. Pero, actually, I feel like we are kind of, diba ito lagi yung range at tinitignan natin, but actually, if we zoom it out sa bigger picture, I think you can see a much stronger resistance if you zoom it out. When you plot this major downtrend line.
Oo.
Kaya yung titignan ko, boy. Kaya significant tong level na to.
Ano mo ngayon, chart mo? Log
chart ko?
Oo.
Halos ganun pa rin.
Okay.
So, di ako naglalag pag hindi crypto. But anyway, so, yeah. Kaya nakikita ko yung talagang 7.4, 7.5. Siguro yan yung key level talaga if you want to see a push higher. Though, regardless of that, I think if you were a bottom-up trader during this period, or if you were a setup-based trader, right? Kasi nung time na to, it was a stock pickers, what David Ryan likes to call stock pickers paradise, meaning basta setup-based ka lang, ang dami mong pwedeng tirahin, right? Whether it's Converge, All HC, AP, sino yung mga leaders boy? ACE-N, Wilcon, daming malakas, GMA7, so congrats lang sa mga nakapag-take advantage yung up move na to.
Congrats sa inyo. Walang congrats kay Boss Toma kasi crypto lord na siya ngayon.
Hindi, boy, hindi. Hindi naman. I'm trying my best. So, game, comment na ng mga stock picks nyo. So, buha tayo na isa. So, ikaw na mauna, Reds. To Monday.
Sige. So, actually, first time ko mag-charting. Hindi ako nag-charting session. So,
comment ka lang tapos i-drawing ko kung ano man sabihin mo.
Ayun. Actually, itong Monday, matagal na nating tinitignan from the yung mga reviews natin sa MCOP. MCOP yun or MCOP. So ayun, nakita natin yung resistance early on and very interesting yung continuation pattern niya. Ngayon na-break na siya. Right now, kung nakapasok ka na sa Monday previously, I think trend follow mo lang tapos maglagay ka lang ng trail stops. Ngayon, if papasok ka sa Monday, I think maganda na maghanap ka muna ng proper consolidation or kahit anong trading setup na ma-validate yung entry mo na hindi mataas yung risk mo. Kasi at this level, medyo for a few days nag-sideways siya pero ang lakas na ng momentum niya pataas eh. So medyo for me, medyo late ka na dito sa party. Unless kaya mong lagyan ng high-risk investment tong Monday. So yun. Ikaw ba? Anong nakikita mo sa Monday, pare?
Same lang sa'yo actually. Ang ganda ng point mo na parang medyo yung base niya, medyo premature siya.
Mm-hmm.
Hindi siya proper na consolidation. Maybe something similar dito. Na ang ganda rin ng volume, pababa yung volume. Low volume consolidation. Ito, medyo sucks lang yung volume. Medyo mataas pa rin. Right? So, ako chill lang. Di ako magmamadali pumasok sa Monday. Pero, syempre, pwedeng mali rin tayo tapos mag-zoom lang after this level. Pero yeah, medyo same tayo ng If wala pa ako nito, I think I would wait for maybe a dip. Di ba? Back to support. If ever mamigay ba.
Kasi probability-wise, I think malaki naman talaga yung probability na tumaas siya. Pero dahil trader tayo, kailangan meron tayong risk management in place.
Correct.
Paano mo lalagay yung risk management mo dyan, di ba? Pwede mo lagay doon sa yung sa support na hindi ko sure kung enough na yung levels na yan to consider as support. Pero ayun, yun lang yung consideration, yung risk talaga.
Yep. Okay. So next, si Bitcoin. Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Si Renzo, yumaman yan sa Bitcoin eh.
Hindi na ba?
No boy. Lala mo nung may Bitcoin tayo sa 8,000 noon. Noong 2019. Pero, yeah, ako, looking at Bitcoin, wala, hindi ko ito masyado tinitignan sa crypto. Mas nakafocus ako sa alts eh. Pero I guess you can maybe treat this as a falling wedge, right? Maybe that's a setup you can trade. Teka, intraday ko lang. Maybe that's if volatility tightens, maybe that's a setup you can trade. Pero I think yung important sa Bitcoin, yung kailangan mong tignan is yung 200-day EMA eh. Kasi if this goes below the 200-day EMA, right? Wala, you might see that's the long-term moving average, right? And wala, syempre you want that's the pinaka long-term na last line of defense in an uptrend, yung EMA 200. So if this closes maybe for the week below EMA 200, I don't know, we might see another waterfall event. Syempre, hindi pa natin masasabi, right? So yun, baka hindi natin alam, di ba? So guys, actually what's funny is we actually have a special guest here with us. May special guest tayo mamaya. Nakalimutan ko pala i-announce, pero mamaya papasok natin. Let's just go through a few charts first. So Renz, can you go through the next charts?
Okay. Teka, bago tayo sa mga next chart, balik ka lang dito sa Bitcoin. Okay ba isipin na Bitcoin is the index for crypto?
I think yeah. I think you can consider kasi it's di ba? Bitcoin started everything eh. So I'm guessing you could say na it can be a sentiment, something you can look for sentiment. Though di ako nag-focus sa ganun eh. Bottom up kasi yung approach ko. So minsan sisilip ko lang, but I usually focus on the setup sa mga alts.
Okay. Alright. Sige, dito na ulit tayo kay Rosario. Tama ba? Okay.
Pwede ka ba mag-share ng chart, Renzo?
Pwede naman. Sige, wait lang.
Sige, ito muna. Chart ko muna to si DELM.
Alright.
O pwede ka na mag-share. Sige ako muna.
Sige, okay na yan.
Del Monte, sakto lang. I mean, sakto lang. Wala pa siyang proper na setup eh. Though I think what you can look at is maybe a cheat setup, right? But Mark, you can buy it even before going to the new high. That's what you call a cheat setup. And it's kind of forming that here. You have a very low cheat tawag dyan in the lower part of the base. So maybe a break above 16. Pwedeng early first tranche. Tapos antayin mo yung confirmation na setup. Dito sa may 18 na levels. So that's maybe something you can look at. So Renz, pwede ka mag-share?
Ng screen ko?
Oo, ikaw mag-chart muna.
Bakit?
May kailangan ako gawin na importante.
Ay, sige.
Oo.
Okay. Wait lang. Sige, next niya, BDO AGI. Share ko lang yung ko. Charts. Okay. BDO. Kita naman.
Kita.
Okay.
I-ano mo boy, i-close mo yung watch list para lumaki.
Ito?
Oo, yan.
Okay. Okay, interesting BDO. Medyo ako personally tinitignan ko rin yung financial sector ng PSE. Very tight na yung consolidation niya dito. If makikita natin, since pandemic levels, hindi talaga tinatamaan or hindi linalagpasan yung resistance na to. So ngayon, medyo nagta-tighten na siya, nagko-constrict yung price action up near this key resistance point. So, interesting siya for me. Of course, kung papasok ka ngayon, let's say, pwede mo ilagay yung stops mo dito under this level or kung medyo mas conservative ka, which is a better approach talaga kung gusto mong tumaas yung probabilities mo kapag nagtitrade. Yun. Lawakan mo yung risk yung stops mo. Pero syempre dapat maliit yung risk involved. So konti lang yung pinapasok mo na pera. So yun, kung titingnan natin, maganda naman yung risk to reward ratio niya. And maganda nga yung pinapakita niya na price movement. So ayun, abangan nyo lang to kapag na-break to, hanap tayo ng maayos na entry or pwede ka na mag-enter ngayon. Pero kung malaki port mo, usually ako lang ako, first tranche, tapos second tranche pag mas may confidence na. So ayun, interesting siya. Tingnan natin yung ibang financial charts. Ito, same lang, nagko-consolidate above the key resistance point since pandemic levels. Ayun So, sumasayaw lang siya dyan. Ang meron ako, pwede ba sabihin yung ganun? Bawal pala yun.
Hawak mo? Pwede naman. Pero disclaimer lang, para take it with a grain of salt.
Kasi matagal ko na tong binili, yung Union Bank. Yan. So, since financial din siya, ayun. Naghanap lang ako ng magandang consolidation, tapos dito ako bumili sa levels na to. So, nagko-consolidate siya, medyo pababa. Pero maganda tignan yung BDO. Parang interesting siya. Mas interesting siya in a risk perspective. So, ayun. Ano yung next na chart niya? AGI? Tama ba? AGI.
AGI.
May masasabi ka ba dun?
Sa video? Sa AGI na lang, boy. Teka lang. Kasi guys, we're actually gonna have a special guest with us tonight, no? We did put in the announcement para surprise, but yeah, I'm just coordinating for how we can enter. So, ang tambayanan nyo yun. Solid tong special guest natin mamaya, boy. So,
interesting. Kahit ako...
Di ba sabihin ko sino?
Kahit ako, di ko alam kung sino yan.
Oo nga.
Parang
ako din Actually, nakalimutan ko.
Hindi mo alam kung sino yung guest natin?
Yeah.
Ayun. Actually, interesting ng AGI, Okay, so halos same lang siya sa syempre, PSE. Maraming charts na magkakamuka. Pero nakikita mo na maganda yung consolidation niya dito. As long as meron kang risk management, let's say gusto mong gawing cut levels ito, medyo mataas pala yung volatility ni AGI. Ayan. Pwede. Kung meron kang risk management, check natin yung earnings. Ewan ko. Ikaw ba, Toma, nag-check ka ng mga earnings, mga PE?
Di masyado Ako hindi. Sa Philippines noon. Sa US, definitely. Nag-check ako palagi na earnings. Or lagi ko lang binabantayan kung kailan lalabas yung earnings. Kasi, unlike sa Philippines, minsan di ba boy, sa Philippines, pag naglabas sa earnings, whether good or bad, sometimes wala masyadong effect sa price. At least sa short term. Sa US kasi kapag nag-report ng bad earnings, siya pwede bumagsak pa rin, negative 20%, gap down. So, delikado maghawak ng... sa US, delikado maghawak ng position coming into earnings. Kasi, if wala kang profit cushion, if may profit cushion ka mga 15%, sige pwede, worst case scenario, baka 20% gap down, so may 5% loss ka. But, tas kung tama ka naman, let's say, ginawa ka mo through earnings, tapos maganda yung earnings, gap up yun, 15 to 30% minsan. So, yun lang, parang medyo sugal yung pagdating sa earnings sa US, especially pag, kanyari, bibili ka before earnings, yun, sugal talaga. It can go either way. So yeah, tumitingin ako na earnings sa US.
Oo. Na-GG din ako sa mga ganong bagay nung pumasok ako ng global. Pero anyway, dito naman sa PSE, nag-check pa rin ako. PE, maganda. Relatively undervalued siya. Hindi ko lang alam if i-compare mo to sa mga competitors niya. Pero, ang ganda ng price structure niya ngayon. Siguro dito maraming na-whipso, maraming napakat. Pero nakikita natin na nagre-recover siya. And ito yung consolidation area niya. Ito yung medyo long-term na trend line. So, basic TA. Kapag na-break yan, edi high probability na mag-form lang new uptrend. Pero, syempre, walang sure. walang sure sa buhay. Dito nga, kung pumasok ka dito, tapos napakat ka dito, di ba? Parang, ay, akala ko maganda yung continuation pattern dito. Pero yun, as long as meron kayong proper risk management, maganda siya for me. Pero, ayun, hindi naman kami nagre-recommend. Ayun, AGI. Ano next, sir? Ikaw naman.
Ikaw, pili ka.
Sige. Yung crypto. Ito, Sol.
Sol?
Oo.
Sola. Sige nga, buksan mo yung Sol.
I-ano ko sa screen mo.
Sa screen ko. Okay.
Ayan.
Teka lang, ginagawa pa ako. Teka, sige.
Ay, sorry.
Pero, ayos lang. Solana is still something I keep an eye on. Just because leader pa rin siya. Though, ang basics filter ko sa crypto is pag below the 20 day, di ko na masyado pinaprayo. Though, si Sol parang ayos lang, even if it's below the 20 day. I still keep an eye on it. So if you look at it intraday, parang may channel eh. You have a channel here. Right? So maybe if it can break up on the outside, 140, maybe that's an initial signal. Though yung crypto market ngayon medyo sucks lang. Wala pa mo siya. Si Sell R ata sa mga malakas. Tsaka to si DY. Ay, nakakainis to. So si DYDX, ayaw na pag-usapan. But yeah, for Solana, for si Solana, yeah, keeping an eye on it din. So just waiting to see if it can move higher, tapos consolidate. So di ko titirahin kaagad sa first move. Aantayin ko ng pause. I wanna get it kapag medyo quiet na siya. And kapag na-prove na kaya basagin to, so sustain. At least yun yung inaantay ko for Solana. So, ano next, boy? Pabalik sa chart mo muna.
Ikaw, sige. Sige. Mukhang may inasikaso ka. Sige, next, GMA 7. Ako naman. Alright, GMA 7. Sige, maganda pala na nagsa-start muna dito sa long-term na chart. Okay, one of the market leaders, wala nang competition, wala nang ABS. So, grabe lakas ni GMA for the past few months and weeks. Long-term resistance, wala na-break na. Ngayon, slightly consolidating, slightly nagko-constrict na yung kanyang price action. Alright. So, meron tayong resistance level dito. I think yun naman yung sorry kung paulit-ulit sinasabi ko, pero parang yun naman yung talagang tinitingnan ng mga traders na nakilala ko na malupit. Diba? Naghahanap sila ng magandang price action. So, una, consolidation muna. Hindi pwedeng pumasok sa during nagmo-momentum siya. Diba? So, okay to i-trade ngayon sa tingin ko. As long as nakapasok ka sa mga tamang key level. So, if dito ka papasok, for example, hindi ka pwedeng mag-go below this. Di ba? Medyo malaki na kasi yung 10% na risk per trade eh. Pero, tingnan natin. Kasi kapag nag-break to, dun pa lang natin mako-confirm. And if nag-break siya, hindi pa rin siya 100% sure na kikita ka ng 20-50%. So, paano ba dito maglagay na? Diba? So either ma-fake out ka dyan or hindi siya tumuloy. So abangan mo lang tong key level na to kung gusto mo i-trade si GMA. Ano next?
Actually, GMA 7 pare, tingin ko leader din yan.
Oo.
Maganda yung setup eh. If you zoom in mo lang sa recent base niya. Mukha siyang coupled handle, diba? Mukha siyang coupled handle.
Sorry.
Mukha siyang coupled handle eh. So, ano yan? VCP, volatility contraction pattern. And
Oh my God.
if ilabas mo yung EMA... Oh, no, wala.
Sorry.
If ilabas mo kasi yung EMA 50, it kind of dipped below it, pero bumawi ka agad. So, it kind of shook out. I'm sure maraming trails or cuts sa tinamaan, pero bumawi ka agad. So, it shook out some of the weak holders. which I think makes the setup even stronger. Kasi puro strong hands. I mean, theoretically, puro strong hands yung mga naiiwan. And all-time high setup yan eh. Hindi lang siya gumalaw kasabay niya na converge kasi nauna na siya eh. Ang lakas ng first move niya. Tapos medyo wide na yung base, pwede rin may argument din na baka distribution na rin. If you look at, pa-remove mo yung GME7 na comment, friends. Para tignan natin yung volume.
Sige.
Ay, pa-remove din yung X, yung sa ilalim, sa volume. If tignan mo yung volume on the red days, zoom in mo. Volume on the down days, mas mataas. Hindi naman ganyan. Yan, perfect. Volume on the red days, mas malaki din volume on the down days. So that's a warning sign lang naman. Nothing too, hindi na sobrang big deal. But that's a warning sign. Kita nyo, whenever nagkaka-red candles, mas malaki yung volume. So that can be, you can say that distribution, yung nangyayari. So, but I can be wrong din. So there's two sides of the argument. Siyempre, makinig tayo sa price. If it breaks out above yung 1450, tapos strong close, it tried to do that last Friday. Pero nag-fade, di ba? So, matinding resistance yan. But since it's near its highs, it's still something you should probably keep an eye on. Tapos may story din na, siyempre, elections, right? Siya na lang natitira kung saan mag-advertise. Though, we can also say na baka priced in na yung move, yung story na yun sa previous move niya. Kasi I think that's a big reason din, but umakyat because of the expectations of earnings or the anticipation of earnings. But yeah, that's just something I'm still keeping an eye on si GME7.
Agree. Maganda nga siya, except yun nga, nabanggit ni Toma na medyo malawak na yung base niya. So, medyo high risk pa rin siya. So, ako personally, hindi ako papasok sa ganito. Pero kung mas siguro lower volatility tong consolidation pattern na to, baka mas maganda siyang pasukan. Ayun. Good insights dun sa election. Next, lagay ako ng Gusto mo ba mag-crypto or ako muna ulit?
Ikaw muna. Crypto chart, mag-comment na lang ako sa chart mo.
Sige. Ito, BSC. Ito medyo nagkaroon na rin ng konting hype yung energy sector. Although si BSC hindi siya masyadong naapektuhan nung hype. Di ko alam bakit. Di ko alam yung fundamentals behind it. Pero, ayun, check natin yung chart niya. Right now, long-term downtrend. So, kung lalagyan natin ng mga linya-linya dito, parang wala masyado. Sakto lang. Kasi, lagay nga tayo ng EMA. EMA 20. Alright. Ayun, sakto lang, wala pa siya masyadong binibigay na confirmation. No, if magre-recover na siya from its downtrend, kasi pababa pa rin siya in the long term eh. So ako personally, I think it's not the best. Especially if titignan mo yung other players sa energy sector natin. Let's say, Boitis, for example. Oh, putik ang lakas. Or FGen. FGen medyo weird recently, di ba? Sobrang lakas ng ng gap up niya. Tapos ngayon, medyo nagko-consolidate siya dito. Tapos lumalakas pa konti-konti. Diba? So if i-compare mo lang yung BSC dun sa mga leaders natin, parang napag-iiwanan siya. Hindi ko alam. Check natin yung niya, yung fundamentals niya. Medyo mataas yung PE. Hindi ko alam kung normal ba yan sa sector niya. May earnings pa. Negative. Although hindi naman siya gaanong nakaka-apekto talaga. Tulad nga sabi ni Toma. Ako lang personally tinitignan ko rin siya for added confidence yung earnings ng isang company. Pero BSC overall downtrend pa rin siya. Hindi ko alam kung kailan magandang pumasok dito. Siguro try natin lagyan ng EMA 50.
Guys, masabi ko lang, na-excite kayo sa guest natin mamaya.
Oo, sana excited kayo kasi ako kinakabahan ako kasi di ko alam kung sino yun.
Guys, di nag-joke si Renzo. Di niya talaga alam. Hindi yan marketing na, di ko yan kilala. Kasi ako nagulat din ako kasi to be honest, kind of medyo nakalimutan ko, di ba? But yeah, kasi daming inaskas. Pero exciting.
May hula na ako pero hindi ko nasasabihin.
Kilala mo, boy, kilala mo. Pero di ko sabihin kasi. Mamaya na. In mga in mga 15 minutes, pare, papasok na yun. So,
Okay. Sige, bilisan ko na yung pag-chart. Next.
he'll be sharing a lot of nice stuff, no? Basta ito yung hint. Kung gusto mo mag-trade ng global markets, ito na yun.
Global.
Oh.
Sige. May comment ka pa ba dito? Or okay na yan?
Ano yan? Next chart.
Next chart. Bloom. Sige, bilisan ko lang. Hindi naman ako expert sa sa charting. Bloom. Pagka tingin mo pa lang alam mo na downtrend siya. May key support levels dito. Diba? So, ngayon, parang wala. Mahirap kasi i-trade yung mga downtrending stocks talaga. Although, syempre, kung tama ka sa reversal, kung tama ka maka-pinpoint ng reversal, malaki talaga yung profits ng mga ganyan. Pero, maliit yung probability na mananalo ka. So, dito, let's say, iti-trade mo si Bloom. Ako, kung iti-trade ko to, yung major support niya, yung magiging risk ko, stop loss. Pag na-break dyan, happy. Look for key levels dito or dito. So, ayun. Ganun ako tumingin ng markets, pero wala pa kasi siyang hindi ko alam parang walang hype PE, negative earnings. Ikaw, may insights ka ba dito?
Ako rin, sucks lang ako kay Bloom. I feel like, more on siya eh. Ito nga, medyo downtrending siya. Nung lumaban yung market, sakto lang siya. Parang doon pa yun sa downward channel. I guess, if makuha mo sa support, tapos position trade yung approach, tapos scale in ka na lang, patuloy yung pag-akit niya. Pero ako, medyo, it wouldn't be at least sa setup at yung trade ko, hindi siya priority. Parang gano'n.
Oo. Hindi naman sa same kami ng ginagawa. Ano talaga to Ako, para sa mga traders na kakilala ko na malupit rin, hindi sila nagtitrade masyado ng nagda-downtrend. So, mahirap yung reversal. Unless ikaw na master mo na yun. Next, DMC. Alright.
Guys, hindi si Boss JC yung guest. Hindi si Boss JC.
Mas malupit na kay Boss JC to.
Malupit si Boss JC yung malupit si Boss. Busy na si Boss kaya di makasama ngayon, sayang.
Alright. So, DMC. Okay. Construction. So far, nagte-trend siya pataas. Okay yan. Medyo nahirapan ako. Ako personally, nahirapan ako i-trade to kasi feeling mo magbe-break siya. Tapos, nag-breakdown. Tapos, bumalik ulit. So, para sa mga taong naipit, di ba? Baka ngayon nakikita nyo, ngayon pa lang napuprove yung thesis nyo na okay pala si DMC. Ito ba? Ito, pwede rin nating i-consider na magandang resistance point. So, ngayon, ano bang pwedeng gawin dito? Anong pwedeng setup? Kung ako kasi, gusto ko maghintay talaga ng volatility contraction. Basta yung humihina yung movement niya, nagko-consolidate. So, if nag-consolidate yan dito, I think maganda siyang option. Especially since kaka-break lang, pwede mo gawing resistance na support pin to. So, ayun. Check natin yung fundamentals. DMC. Okay, PE. Undervalued. Pero karamihan naman undervalued pandemic levels. Earnings, okay. Tapos recently nawala sa PSE. Tama ba, Toma? PSEI. CDMC.
Di ako masyado updated regarding that Kasi US market tsaka crypto yung focus.
Ayun, if I'm not mistaken, pa-comment na lang or pa-correct kung mali ako. I think nawala siya sa PSEI recently. Pero despite that, di ba? Ang lakas pa rin.
Next mga boy, si Converge.
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 CNDR. Uy, halimaw yan.
Yeah. So, ako siguro kay Converge. Wala leader talaga I mean, syempre kudos sa mga meron nito, right? Na-trade mo ba to, boy?
Oo, trade ko. Pero Mali. Mali yung pag-trade ko, pero kumita naman ako.
Ano, napaaga yung benta?
Kasi yung story ko dito, di ba? Inabangan ko na siya dito eh. Bumili ako dito sa levels na to. Tapos, nagbenta ako around here, dito. Di naman sa mali, parang na-realize ko ang taas na ng profits ko. Tapos feeling ko magre-reverse na yung market. Pero yung lesson ko dun is talagang dapat wala kang ego. Kung hindi tinatamaan yung mga trail following stops mo, dapat nagli-leave ka kahit 10% or 20% nung original position mo kasi hindi mo talaga alam kung kailan matatapos yung isang trend. So yun yung sa akin. Ano ba nakikita mo dito?
Same lang naman. I mean, ako, well, ano na eh, yung if i-zoom in mo si Converge pare, as in zoom in mo ang todo, dun sa pinaka-recent, yan, yung move na yan, if i-zoom in mo dyan, pagkatapos mag-gap up. Actually, maraming ano yan eh, maraming potential momentum setups. Yung mga micro na pause, yung sobrang tight, ano yan eh, mga inside candles, mga ano yan eh, if nabasa yung book na Hit and Run Trading by Jeff Cooper, so maraming entries, and leader talaga si Converge. Dito na pupasok yung, di ba boy, si Converge, una siyang gumalaw, nung yung market, bumabagsak, siya umaakyat or chill lang siya, di ba, nagkukonso lang. Kaya lagi namin sinasabi na you always wanna look for the outliers. Bakit? Hindi para i-trade habang mahirap yung market, but to keep an eye on it, kasi when the market reverses, when the market is coming off the lows, tapos babounce lang, those stocks that stay near its highs, like Wilcon, AceN, Converge, they're probably gonna be the first ones, not the only ones, but the first ones to lead the market pag nagka-short-term reversal or kapag nagka-full-size reversal, di puta, aakit yan todo. I mean, high probability aakit yan na malaki. But yun, since matibay siya, nung time na suputik na potso yung market, di ba? Nung nag-reverse na yung market, nung nag-bounce na, isa sa mga key leaders si Converge. That's why, when everyone says look at the outliers, not to force a trade, but to keep an eye on it. Kasi pag nagkamagandang setup yan, tapos nag-reverse yung market kasabay nung magandang setup, baka mataas yung upside mo eh. So yun lang. But ngayon, yan, sa all-time high pa naman. So if wala ka nito, you still wanna try and keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Maybe you wanna trade it on the pullback again. So yun lang. So malakas naman. You don't wanna, sabi ka ni Bear, di ba? Sa presentation, you don't wanna underestimate yung power ng 52-week and all-time highs, di ba?
Tama. Okay. Nice insights. Ito yung time na napunta sila sa PCI. Nag-party ako niyan. Celebrate ako.
Next daw, boy. Wilcon.
Isa pa to. Uy, ganda.
Nakaso.
Okay. Sa akin, ganun din, momentum siya. Sobrang lakas niya na for the past few months. And ngayon, siguro kung papasok ka, maghihintay ka lang ng magandang setup. Diba? Papansin natin, ang daming times na mini consolidations during this run up. So, siguro kung meron ka nito, parang iniisip mo, ay, bebenta na ba ako dito? Ay, bebenta na ba ako dito? Ay, bebenta na ba ako dito? Kasi ngayon, nandito na siya sa around 30 levels. Di natin alam kung resistance yan. Pero, ayun, abang ka lang dito, tapos risk management kung gusto mo tirahin. Kasi, ang ganda nito from dito, dito talaga siya nag-trend eh. Nung na-break niya yung resistance na to. Nag-all-time high levels na siya dyan. Tapos sobrang medyo choppy yung movement niya. Pero overall, ang lakas niya talaga. Ikaw?
Yeah, same lang naman. So, same comments with you, all-time high. Dami mga buy opportunities. I think yung magandang lesson dito is kailangan marunong ka maghawak eh. Kapag you have to be patient with the setup minsan. Marami kasi kakilala, maaga nagbenta sa Wilcon eh kasi mabagal siya. Noong una mabagal, so tama din naman, with the benefit of hindsight, mali siya kasi umakyat pa. But kasi noong una mabagal siya eh. Nag-all-time high siya, pero mas mabilis si All HC, mas mabilis si, noong time na yan, sina All HC, I think sina EMP, Converge, sabay-sabay gumagalaw. So yung buying power, syempre. At habang gumagalaw sila, si Wilcon, kumukonso, pero sa all-time high. So I guess yung important dito is kailangan if setup mo yan, yung all-time high or 52-week high or mga big picture plays, kailangan alam mo, kaya mo hawakan, kaya mo, you give it room and enough room to move around. Kasi never naman bumalik below the high. Basta yun, enough room to move around. Tsaka enough time to move on in the bias of your trade. Kasi sobrang dami ko kakilala, di ba sobrang, mga apat gano'n. Bumili sa 19, pero binenta lang sa 22 kasi yung bagal. Tapos ngayon, close to 30 na, di ba?
Oh.
So sayang din. Pero syempre, una, mabagal kasi talaga siya. So tamang balance lang. You have to know how to hold and know how to ride the fastest horses.
May nakausap rin tayo na Trading Cup champion before eh. Tinanong ko, bakit mo binenta tong Wilcon? Tapos ayun, tumaas pa.
And tama naman, at the time, nung kinuwento niya yun, mabagal talaga, nilipat niya sa iba. Pero sayang lang din na tumuloy naman sa bias on trade. Pero yan ang yan ang DNA ni Wilcon. If mag-zoom out, if balik mo sa 2019, if balik ka sa price on yung uptrend niya doon, ng 2019, ganoon din eh. Maraming konso, breakout konso. Pero never violated any moving averages or never made a lower low hanggang sa nag-breakdown na sa dulo. Pero ganyan kasi yung DNA niya, mabagal talaga. Slowly but surely yan si Wilcon. Alam ko yan, 6 months ko hinawakan yan doon.
Talaga?
Oo, tagal
dito,
ko hinawakan
time na to?
Oo, sa 12, tapos binenta ko mga 19, 18, ganyan.
Dapat di mo binenta. Tapos nag-break even ka dito. Tapos hawak mo pa rin.
Hindi papasa sa atin yun, boy. Alam mo, hindi pwede sa mga trader.
Okay, next. Hanap ba ako?
Next, AP pare.
AP. Okay.
So we'll do two more charts. Then we actually have a special guest with us here tonight. So I kept it as a surprise for everyone who tuned into the stream. Right, so to all of the 360 plus people still with us, you guys are in for a treat. So let's do AP, Reds. AP tsaka last is in. Tapos we'll bring in a special guest to the show.
Okay, sige. So AP quickly lang sa akin. Okay, Power Corporation, no energy, hype siya, tapos nag-consolidate siya before breaking the key resistance level dito since 2020. No. So maganda yung price action niya. Ngayon nagko-contract ulit siya ng price action niya. So maganda naman siya. Check ko lang yung fundamentals. PE ratio 12. May earnings. Maganda yung earnings. Hindi masyadong naapektuhan ng pandemic problems, no? So maganda siya for me. AP. Ikaw, ano masasabi mo?
AP maganda eh kasi energy play yan eh. If i-plot mo yung downtrend line, bro, from the hindi naman yung sobrang layo, but yung base. Ang ganda nung, like yung yung ilalim. Hindi dyan. Yung, mahirap. Basta, ang ganda nung, hindi. Sige, wag na. Pero, yeah, AP energy play. Though I think if you go into it now, baka masyado late ka na. Kasi yun nga, larger cap move. Tapos sentiment driven. So, unless you're able to get it yung pinaka-latest, yung pag-breakout niya sa base. I wouldn't rush in to get it now. Though yun, ang ganda nung move niya. For a blue chip to move really, really big in a short period of time in a medyo saksa ng market. Yeah, solid si AP. Though yeah, may potential bigger move din. Pero mas medium term na yung approach kapag dyan pa yung yung take profit mo. Yeah, so let's do one more chart, Renzo. And then I will bring into the stream our guest.
All right. What's the final chart before?
Ace N.
Okay. Another energy play. Okay. ASN, leader. Sobrang lakas. May kita natin yung resistance niya dito and na-break siya, all-time high levels. Once again, tulad nga nung sinabi ni Bear, ulitin ko lang, wag mo i-underestimate yung power ng all-time highs. Kasi ibang klase yung supply and demand place dito sa mga ganitong klaseng trade. So, if nakapasok ka dito early on, let's say, dito nung nagko-consolidate siya, nagkakaroon ng pattern, continuation pattern, parang triangle, edi congrats sa iyo, meron ka ng, let's say, ayun, meron ka ng 50% profit. So, para sa mga papasok pa lang, wait muna tayo ng trading setup before entering this kind of trade kasi medyo mataas na yung risk mo kung papasok ka ngayon. Ikaw, may masasabi ka pa dito?
Well, yeah, congrats sa mga sa mga nakapag-trade niyan, right? Mali yung, actually, I remember before, ang comment ko nga nung nasa ilalim pa ng consolidation si ASN, sabi ko, bad distribution na yung nagaganap. But I was wrong, hindi ko nakita yung potential play sa energy sector. Right, so mali ako dun. But yeah, congrats sa mga nakapag-trade above 10 all-time high cycle level. And, I wouldn't rush to get into it now. I would probably wait for another retest or a consolidation above the highs. Siyempre, you don't wanna buy something that's too far from the breakout point. You don't wanna buy something that's too extended. But yeah, daming long-term holders niyan, boy. So, congrats sa mga sa mga humawak lang. Dati meron ako yan, 3 pesos pare, bago nag-stock dips. Sana inawakan ko na lang. Meron ako niyan sa pinakailalim nung pandemic time, nung March, April pa. Back then, Pero binenta ko, sobrang aga ko nabenta. So, yeah. So, I don't want to take up too much of the time because we actually have, I didn't tell Renzo who it is, but we have a special guest with us here today. And I did spoil it in the announcement because I wanted to give a treat for those who came in. So maybe to give a hint of who it is, it's actually one of the speakers in the Investa Summit. And it's one of our international speakers, right? Who we recorded the presentation a few weeks ago. And it was really great, and he wanted to come on to the show, right? And he has his new course coming up, and he's actually going to be giving away one later to our VIPs for the summit. So without further ado, our guest for today, who's going to be sharing something with everyone in the audience, is Matthew Caruso, right? I believe from Canada, and he was the top 4 in the US Investing Championship back in 2020, where he returned a total portfolio gain of, if I'm not mistaken, 346%. So really excited to have him on. I won't keep the intro too long, so I'll bring you into the stream.
All right.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Actually, it's in the evening right now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So,
Good morning, sir. Nice
Good
to meet
morning.
you.
Nice to meet you, Renzo. It's a real pleasure to be here. Great show so far. I was watching some of your charts, and I love that charting software you use. I use it all the time myself.
Yeah, thank you. So how are you doing now?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a nice Sunday morning here, so I'm getting ready to do my review for the weekend, look over all of my charts, and prepare for the trading week.
Yeah. So maybe for the benefit of our audience, who I'm sure a lot may not know you yet here in the Philippines, but yeah, could you give a quick introduction about yourself?
Sure. So I started trading. I was probably a teenager, so about 20 years ago, and I became obsessed with trading. And in the process, I became the president of the Canadian Society of Technical Analysts. Right at university, I became a market maker and professional trader for one of Canada's biggest banks. So I did that for about 6 or 7 years, and it was a great experience. I learned a ton. I really learned how to read market flows on individual stocks. And, every time you buy that stock, it just kind of hits your stop and turns around. Like I got to learn that process. I was one of the guys doing that sometimes, unfortunately, but it was a lot of fun. And so I was a top trader at my bank. And eventually I decided to go on my own for a number of years. I had enough capital. I said, why not just trade for myself? So I've been doing that since 2014. And in 2020, I decided to join the US Championship to get a little bit of fun and competition because I'm a competitive guy. and had a great year. Actually, in September, I was in first place, and I'd broken the 9-month record for the championship going back to the 80s. So that was a lot of fun. I took my foot off the gas a little bit at the end of the year because I didn't think we were going to go straight up, but that's the way we went. But I'm still happy with the return. And I said a lot of people were really, interested in learning my approach. So I built a investment course, which I just put out this week. And so that's been a lot of fun because when I was trading pro for the bank here in Canada, I was also a finance professor. So I graduated at a university and I was a finance professor the next year. So I was only a couple of years older than the students, but it was a lot of fun and I enjoy teaching and that's what I do. I'm just a full-time trader and it's what I love to do.
Yeah, maybe you could talk about your course a little bit more because actually, I just bring out the poster here. We'll be giving thank you so much for your generosity. Sorry, I covered your face, but we'll be giving away one access to your course to all of our VIPs in the Investa Summit. So maybe for those in the audience who may not know it yet, could you share that share what it's all about? Maybe where can they check more details on it?
Sure. So we're going to give one away, but actually I had a launch week discount where it was $300 off, but I'll extend the discount to everybody who's listening for the rest of today and tomorrow. If they want to sign up at a discounted price, I'll give you the promo code. Maybe you can give it to them and we'll give one away free to someone who wins the raffle. But essentially I want to build a course because, my background was market making, very short term. I first started with growth investing with William O'Neill and all of his teachings. So I understood longer term investing. I understood short term investing. I understand how the institutions work because I was, making markets and fighting the institutions every day. And I was a finance professor, but dealing with a lot of students and a lot of other market pros, a lot of people have a hard time putting it all together. There's so many books, there's YouTube videos. I mean, there's a lot of great information, but it becomes a little overwhelming. It's people, I learned this buy technique, but what's the sell technique I'm supposed to use? How many shares should I buy? What if the market's looking bad, but the stock is looking good? So I really wanted to build one system where I kind of took people, rather than trying to mentor people one at a time, I said, I want to create something kind of like a master class. I don't know if you've seen all those, Gordon Ramsay, they advertise that in the Philippines. And I said, I want something like that, really cool, really modern, where you can just stream it and you can watch my whole process from how I think to how I find setups, how I build my strategy, all my buy rules, sell rules. So I created, it's over 10 hours, over 200 charts, and it's the entire process of how I literally think about markets, how I find stocks, how I, when do I buy, when do I hold, sell, react to market movements in the Fed, and really how I kind of deal with, say, I have a losing streak, how do I get out of that losing streak, the mental traps. I just really wanted to create something where I could have people sit next to me in the trading room, and I was really showing them step by step how I work that process. So if you want to see the website, it's carusoinsights.com. I don't know if you can maybe put that in the chat.
Right here.
And, there we go. That's the website, and all the information is there. You can take a look.
All right, there we go. So Matt, thank you so much for your time. I mean, if I'm not mistaken from our previous conversation, you're gonna be sharing some setups you like to take to our audience today. So
sure.
Yeah.
So one thing I've been watching a lot recently, I guess you guys will bring up the charts, right, Paulo?
Oh yeah, definitely. We can bring up the charts, or if you would like, either of us could bring up the charts.
So I'll let you guys do it. The similar charts, but so there's the one sector I find has really been interesting lately is some of the energy names. So I saw you're talking about AP, but I like some of the actual oil names, such as DVN, Devon Energy, is looking really, really interesting. So we had a really nice big basing structure, and we started to really break out of this base on Friday. So I'd been kind of accumulating the stock over the past couple of weeks, and it was really nice to see this breakout strong on Friday. And really, it's the whole oil sector altogether. If you bring up the oil futures price, the CL contract, the crude oil, CL is the ticker.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have that. Yeah, we don't have it
maybe
on
USO. USO is the ETF. I'm sure you have the ETF.
US oil.
No, just USO. Yeah. Or if you want, I can share my screen actually, if that'd be easier for you.
Here we go. Is it this one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, I got it.
So that's the oil. So you can see how oil is just really, really strong, and it's kind of, like I try and bring everything together, and there's been so many like labor shortages. They're trying to reopen the economy, and yet they're still printing so much money to support the economy, and that always usually comes through in commodities. So if you if you really study the whole cycle of how the market works, and the beginning of the cycle is usually growth stocks, and as you get to the end of the cycle and the economy starts to kind of heat up and there's like a lot of different pressures on prices, it's usually oil and stocks that really get going. And so I think oil could be a real place of strength. If you look at natural gas, I mean, there's some stocks like AR, which is, you know, the VON is really oil, AR is natural gas, and natural gas prices have been incredibly strong. There's like shortages in Europe and all over the place. So I think AR can be another really strong stock. So that kind of had a basing structure. We broke out. We had a little bit of a retest, and it looks like this is really strong to go higher. So I really like these names.
Yeah, I think one thing I want to ask you is if we look at the Renz, what's the stock code of the S&P 500 again? SPX 500.
SPX.
Yeah, SPX. If you look at the S&P 500, if I'm not mistaken, it kind of dipped pretty hard here. Like how did you handle this period?
Well, you know, whenever so that was because of the Evergrande debt problems in China. And whenever it's a debt problem, you know, my first year of trading professional was 2008 in the whole financial crisis. So I saw whenever it's something that's related to credit and debt and housing, that's something that could really get really bad really quickly. So I don't even know if we're out of the woods yet, but that was a pretty, ugly breakdown. The whole chart is not broken yet, but I think at this point in the market, you have to be really selective with which stocks you're buying, because some stocks are kind of very, very weak, but then there's still a few stocks where there's a lot of strength. And what's really interesting is, I don't know if you could bring it up, but if you went back to the S&P in 2008, I don't know if you can go all the way back then, but the S&P had already started to break down. Here, I'll just show you something, how it's so important to be in the right place at the right time. Right. So if you look at 2008, at the beginning of the year, if you look at January through April, May, I mean, this was just really falling off a cliff. It was really, really, really weak. But if you bring up another, like an oil stock at that time, if you bring up, say, CLR over the same period, in early 2008, I have to bring it all the way back. I have the same charting. I wish it would just stay at the same period. We have to keep scrolling back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Was it CLR or which was the symbol? Oh yeah, there we go. See, the same period in 2008, this stock went crazy on the upside when you went from $10 to $40. So, it's even if the market is weak, it doesn't mean you have to stay out of the market completely, but you really, really want to be in the right sector. So if in 2008 you were in any tech names or financial names, you got killed. But if you were able to pivot and get into that energy sector when that was looking strong, you still made a ton of money. So it's really about knowing where you want to be in the market. The index sometimes is deceiving. It looks very strong or it looks very weak. Like, recently the Nasdaq's been moving up, but it's been a few of the big stocks like Apple and Microsoft moving higher. So if you're trying to find these young growth companies or these stocks that move fast, it's frustrating because they're not doing much, but the market's going up every day. But sometimes, like see in 2008, the S&P was very weak, yet the oil stocks went crazy. So, I mean, it's really about being in the right place.
Yeah. So your approach is really more on a bottom-up approach rather than a top-down perspective.
Yeah, like I like to use the market. Like I have tools to analyze the market itself, and that kind of gives me an understanding of where we are. So if the market looks very weak, let's say my tools are flashing that there's weakness, it doesn't mean I'll stay out of the market completely, but I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be very careful with if I'm on margin or how much exposure I have. That tells me how much gas I want to put on the gas pedal. If the market's flashing red, I'm going to want to be driving a little bit slower. But if some stocks look great, even if the market's a little bit weak, sometimes there's still a big opportunity. And if you have even 30, 40, 50% of your account exposed to a stock that's going to go up 200 or 300%, that's still a great return on the overall account. And you don't have to have a lot of risk exposed to the market. You can still keep some cash to stay safe.
Yeah. Are there any interesting charts for open to share that you're kind of looking at right now?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Oh, is there any interesting charts or any interesting names that you're looking at that you think are setting up nice?
Yeah, so it's funny, everybody really talks about it, but I didn't like it for the longest time. But Palantir is finally looking good. PLTR. Yeah, that's one where at IPO it kind of went like nuts. Kathy Wood was buying it with ARK, and then it kind of fell over hard. But finally, you can see we finally shaped a proper base. And in the course I go into, there's a difference. Everyone calls everything a base, but there's proper bases and there's sloppy bases, and it's important that you can identify the difference. So this finally started to form something really nice, and you can see there's some really big upside volume on the right side of the base. as the base was forming. So if you look at, let's say, late September, you can see these really big volume spikes as the stock broke out of the base. And I think that, that 2750 area was really strong. The fact that we broke out with really big volume and then we kind of retested and we're back near highs, I think this could have really good potential. If you know their business, I mean, the CIA uses them. They kind of create software and databases for governments and these very, very large institutions. And the CIA says they're indispensable. Like, we need to have them. So if the CIA needs to have them, I'm guessing it's one hell of a good software. So, I mean, it's a recent IPO. They got great growth numbers, and it finally looks like the chart. It looks like there's more buying than selling going on. So this is a stock I have a position in.
Yeah, I actually traded this personally too. I bought it on the breakout here, on the breakout of the base. But when the whole Evergrande issue came up and it got down, my stop got hit. So I'm trying to maybe find a way to re-enter. I think, yeah, we had a comment that maybe you could take a look at the chart net. I think that's a leader. I remember, I think I was watching this IBD live with I forgot who it was, but someone said the net was one of the leaders. What's your take on this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? In 2020, during the U.S. Investing Championship, one of my biggest winners was Fastly, which is a competitor to Net. And sometimes that's why you have to really watch the chart. I had Fastly, which was a huge runner, but they kind of, TikTok was one of their biggest customers. And then I think the Trump administration didn't want TikTok to work in the US anymore because they were from China and all these security concerns. That caused these big drops in the stock price after that run up. So I think, Fastly ran into trouble and their competitor Net took advantage and they've become the real leader in the space. So they have a really cool technology, Net. So every time you're on your browser, everything's usually stored in the cloud now. So, but these big data centers are somewhere in Chicago or somewhere in California. So if you're in the Philippines and you want to watch a video and it's stored in California, it would be really slow. So what people like Net do is they create all these smaller data centers all over the world that kind of stores the important files close to everybody. So when you want to go click on that video, instead of the data going all the way back to California and back to the Philippines, well, there's a little smaller data center right in the Philippines. So that's what makes it so easy to watch all this video and all this content, and that's why they're doing amazing. But it's a great big leader, but it's too extended. I mean, if you have a position, great, but to start buying here, it's a little too extended. I would wait for it to pull back, personally.
Got it. Any other interesting names you might be looking at? And if there's anyone in the audience who might have a question on any US stocks, because actually, Matt, in the Philippines, trading the US market just kind of went. A lot of people started doing it in March 2020 when the pandemic started. A lot of people started trading global markets. Yeah, so that's when me and Renzo also started as well. So it was a great time. Yeah, but. Yeah, so if there's anyone in the audience who might have a chart request, maybe Matt could go over it really quick. So, but while we wait for that, do you have any other interesting names you're kind of looking at?
I like Unity. The symbol is U. It's been really strong. Sometimes there's these stocks that they'll IPO, they'll be very strong, and they kind of break down, and some of them go away and they never come back. But others they reshape, and they kind of like the institutions go through a phase where they study the stock, they find out if they want to start putting a lot of capital to it. And this is another one. We had a really good basing structure, and if you look on the right side of the base, like in August, September, October, when you see those really big volume spikes, I mean, not just a bit above average, when it's the biggest volume you've seen in months, yeah, that's really a sign that something's changing underneath the hood of the stock. I mean, that takes big buying power. That's not me or you. That's someone like a Fidelity coming in and buying $100 million worth of stock. Those are big buying spikes. So it's something I like very much. And actually, when I was filming the course that I was doing, the guy filming was asking me stock ideas. We're talking stock, and I mentioned this one, and he says, "Oh yeah." He's like, "I know Unity." He's like, "Wow, they're changing the way everyone does film, the way everyone does anything that's related to content." And that's really what you want to find. You want to find someone that's really a groundbreaker, doing something new. And when that lines up with the chart and that kind of buying, that's the perfect combination.
Got it. So what do you usually look at when you look at volume? What do you want to see in a stock in its volume to say, okay, this potentially might, besides what you just mentioned, maybe we can drill down on that a little bit. What do you usually look for to say that, okay, the stock might be a potential leader in the market?
Really, you want to see that record volume. You want to see something, because you want a catalyst. You want something that's going to launch the stock now. So if the stock is just kind of going higher, I mean, it depends what you're trying to do, but I'm assuming everyone here is an active investor like I am. People are trying to make like big money. This is not, it's one thing if you're trying to invest for the next 30 years, you want to put something in a pension plan, that's a different discussion. But if you're looking for a stock that's going to have a 30, 40, 50, 60% move, you need something to show that there's an elephant coming into the room, someone big, someone who wants stock. And the biggest advantage of people who are trading for themselves is we can get in and out of a stock, no problem. I mean, these stocks are $50 billion stocks. If we're buying shares, we're not going to affect it. But if you have someone like the Fidelity Contra Fund and they have $130 billion under management, that's one fund. If they want to put 1% of their fund in a stock, you're talking like $1.5 billion of buying. And that's one fund. So when they come in, they have to move that stock price and they have to move it on big volume. So really, you want to see that record volume spikes coming in. Like you want to see the biggest volume spikes in the past few months, and that's what leads to these quick moves. Like you see, Unity was doing nothing for months and months until you saw that really big spike come in, and then boom, then you start to get that really great upside volume. Now, there's other ways you can buy a stock before then, because I try and avoid buying a breakout above a prior high because too many of them fail. So I'm always trying to use different buy points, and I have a lot of smaller, shorter tactical patterns, which we even cover in the Investa Summit. I go into some of those.
Yeah.
But it's really that when you see that kind of big volume come in, like you see there in August, that's telling you that there's really someone big coming in. And the same thing, if you see it on the downside, you want to get out of the way. Like if you look at February, look when that broke down. Look at the size of the volume that came in. Like, people would have thought like, hey, we have a gap down. Oh no, it's down. But the worst is probably over. No. If someone's selling with that kind of big volume, like in early February to cause a gap down, with huge volume, that stock's going to get selling pressure for weeks or months. So if anyone bought that at $100 plus, you were stuck with a big loser until this turned around. Like that's a sign, like get out of the way. If you have a loss, take your loss and like move aside, because then you're stuck with a loser for months and you could be using your capital elsewhere. So there's a lot of like smaller details, but if you want to really, the main idea is you want to see that elephant come in the room. You want to see that huge volume spike up or spike down. That's telling you, whoa, I got to get in or get out.
Nice.
Got it.
All right.
So, Renz, do you have a question?
I think for me, I just have an observation on how different Matt does his analysis compared to us, you and me, Toma. So when we do our charting sessions, we usually just look at the charts and we have a little bit of insight when it comes to the story, the fundamentals. But when you explain it, the past few stocks that we reviewed, you really understand the story, the mechanics behind the company. So how do you do this in the global markets? How do you really understand what's happening, what's not really happening, what's just fake news, and what's something to look out for? How do you prepare yourself for this kind of environment?
So like I do a lot of reading during the day. So when I was a market maker, I'd trade 200-300 times a day. But like now I'm not trading as often. But when I was trading very short term, it's all technical. So if you're trading 100 times a day, the story doesn't matter that much. I mean, just the major headlines. But when you want to take a position, and when I take a position, I want to have 25, 30, 40% of my account in a stock that's working. I want to build up to it. And if you're going to do that, you have to understand the story. You have to know what's the main catalyst going on in the company. And so really what you want to do, there's a lot of places. Number one, if I can't understand the story, like sometimes there's these biotech companies and it's really scientific and there's no product yet. And I just avoid it. I mean, there's so many stocks to choose from. But a lot of times it's products we're using or it's a technology. And if you don't understand, you can go on YouTube. There's going to be people are going to be talking about the technology. You could go to Reddit. If you go to the company website, there's investor presentations, and the CEO is going to explain his vision of the future and talk about what they want to do and how they're different. And at first, it's going to seem overwhelming because it's a lot of new information. But once you start doing this, let's say regularly, every week you read about one company, then another company. Well, after 3, 4, 5 months, not everybody is a groundbreaking new technology. Usually, it's just everyone doing something a little bit better than the guy before. And so once you understand the stories after 6 months of doing this, it becomes a lot quicker to say, oh, okay, so he's taking what they were doing, but this is a new version of that. Or they're instead of, at one point, software as a service became popular. So instead of selling someone a license, like here, buy this software for $1,000, okay, we'll lease it to you every month for $100. And, it's not groundbreaking, but it completely changed the way software was delivered and it really increased sales. So that's a bit at a time. You just start to understand. And if you want to have these big positions and find these big winners, you have to understand what makes one stock different from another. Because that's if you look at like William O'Neill is probably I'd say my mentor who I study the most. And he said, even though 75% of what we do is charting, because you're always looking at charts, what really drives the move is the fundamentals. I mean, if the company is not doing something new, if they don't have a better product, I don't care what the chart looks like. It's going to break out, it's going to fail, and it's going to go away. So if you want that stock to go up 200 or 300% over 9 months or 6 months or 2 or a year and a half, they have to be doing something different. That's the difference, and that's where it takes the extra work, and that's where people get sloppy or they go quick or they're trying to do too much. And really, if you drill down, you take that time, you're going to feel so much more confident too when you're executing your position.
Yeah. So it's really not just looking at the price action, but also understanding the story behind the company.
Yeah, and even the price action. I think that's why, like when I was trading as a market maker, I love charts. At one point I was just purely technical. Even though I started with fundamental, I love charting. I found it so interesting. But everyone, some people hate charts. They say, "Oh, it's a chart pattern, whatever. It's a cup and handle. What the hell's the difference?" But no, these charts, they happen for a reason. And I know because when I was trading pro and I was making markets, I was building those charts. Like, when I would look back at stocks that I was trading, sometimes I was, 10, 20, 30% of the volume that day. And you get, when you're trading that much of a percentage of the volume, you get a feel for what's happening at that point. And sometimes if there's a support, I would break that support to see if there's sellers, then okay, there's no more sellers. So now it would swing it back the other way. And so those charts form for a reason. So if you really stop and you try and take a look at the chart, you look bar by bar, you look at the volume, you look, how did we close in the range? It's something that takes a lot of time. I mean, I've been doing this for close to 20 years, but it starts to paint a picture. You don't want to look at just the pattern. You want to look at what are people doing? Is there someone trying to accumulate the stock? Is someone trying to sell that stock? And you have to put the guy who drives a stock for 6 months, like I said, if he wants to buy $1 billion worth of stock, it's going to take him weeks. And someone who's doing that has to do it smart. He can't come in and say, okay, buy every day at 9:45. Every trader in the world is going to see him and buy ahead of him. So he has to, when the market's very weak on the day, let's say that the market is down 1%. If this stock is up 0.5%, that's the guy saying like, oh, okay, great. Everyone's panic selling because of Evergrande, but this gives me a chance to go in and buy $50 million worth of stock and not move the stock price. And that's where you have to start to see, or if the market's up really big and all the competitors, let's say Net is up and Cisco is up, but Fastly's down 3% when all of their competitors are up, like, the guy who owns Fastly is using this as an opportunity to dump some stock without impacting the stock price too much. So that's really when you start to go step by step that you can really read what are the big players doing.
Yeah. And just to drill down on your point a while ago, you mentioned that you're understanding the story. You said you don't touch biotech companies, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, I try and avoid that. I mean, if it's like if it's a testing company or it's a medical product company, then I'll do it. I can understand what they're doing. But if it's like sometimes like there's like a CRISPR stocks, they have like $200,000 in sales and they have a $10 billion market cap. I don't know. Like the next clinical trials, I don't know what all this this medical speak comes out. I can't understand it. So there's 10,000 stocks just in the US to choose from. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think I kind of got hit with that point because I'm not sure if you're familiar with the stock PTGX.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, which something I was looking at. It was close. It was at its all-time highs. IPO'd in 2017, but I didn't know anything about the company. I didn't know it was a biotech company, and I actually bought it right here. I bought it when it made a new high, but it hit my stop loss maybe somewhere around here.
Oh,
but I got lucky because I had no idea it was a biotech company. I was just looking at the price. I said, okay, consolidating, going to a new high. And then maybe a week later after my stop got hit, it got down at 60 or 70% because what organization is that? The clinical, something with the clinical trials got paused.
Oh yeah, that means they're dead.
Yeah, and it got down. I was like, shoot. I mean, that's why I really agree with your point. Now I'm starting to really try to read, about the company before I just buy it based on the setup.
I mean, you don't always have to do an extremely deep dive, but you should have at least a basic understanding of what's driving. I mean, it depends. If you're swing trading, you're holding a stock for 3 days, it's not going to be a huge difference. But if your goal is to put a big amount of your account in a stock and hold it for 3 or 6 months, you should know more about it. It's going to help you to understand how to react. You know, if news comes out, is that good or is it bad? What does it mean? You know, if the market is weak and you see how your stock, it helps you to interpret everything. But you know, the fact that you held a stop, I mean, so many people make the mistake. It's such a simple concept is to sell if the stock goes down. Most people won't. And that's where most people, there's two places people get in trouble. One that I've seen in my career. One is if the stock falls, they get stubborn. They don't want to sell it. And then they get murdered. You know, I've seen guys, great traders, making money every day, bang, bang, like a cash machine. But there's like that one position they fall in love with, or it's like they get into a boxing match with it and they refuse to sell it. And, you know, they're making money all year. And then at the end of the year, you look at them and they're miserable. They say, what happened? It's like, oh, you know, I didn't make any money this year. Well, how could you not make money? You were killing it. Yeah, but I kept feeding my profits into this loser. And some, even pros, you'd be amazed. Sometimes they get into this like mental funk and they get stuck with this loser and they can't break. So just number one, selling is so important. If it's not going your way, you want to get out. And the second big mistake I've seen is when guys make a lot of money, they get really excited. They buy all kinds of stuff. They buy a new car. They go on vacations. They go to restaurants. And then the market gets sour. And then after they spent all their profits and then their account starts to fall because they get into a bad market. And then they get blown out because they blew all their profits. So, you know, the two biggest mistakes are not cutting your losses and just getting too excited when you make money and just spending all that money away. So if you want to do this long term, you really got to pace yourself and take your time, you know?
Got it. Great. So we have a comment over here asking if we could take a look at the stock task. So maybe I can bring up the chart. So Matt, what are you seeing when it comes to task?
You know, so these stocks that are moving like this. So Friday was a pretty ugly reversal, but you really want to make sure you're starting to buy at the right point. So number one, this is an early IPO. When I have a rule myself. Whenever I buy out of an IPO type of base or consolidation, if I get a really strong move, 70% or more within a month or two, I sell and take the profit. And the reason is that usually the lockup expiration is coming out. So when someone comes to market, a new company, the majority of the insiders can't sell their stock for 6 or 9 months. And so there's very little stock available. So anyone who wants stock, they have to really pay up for that stock. You get these dramatic moves. But then once the lockup expiration ends or gets close to ending, you get this flood of stock that comes into the market. Because these guys, let's say the stock's trading at $70, they probably got this stock for like $3 like 6 years ago when the company was nothing. And so they have this huge profit and they want to buy their Ferrari, they want to buy their Porsche, and they don't care if they sell the stock at 70 or 65. They got the stock for $3 or $4. They want to sell that stock. So you see these huge advances because there's very little shares available, and then you get this big drop. So usually stocks like this, I'll sell into them just because it's had such an extension from a base. And if you look at last year, there's so many stocks that did that. Not even last year, sorry, recently. Let me try and think of some names. I'm trying to InMode is one that had happened to me that I sold. If you look at INMD, but you go back to the IPO in 2020, it was 2019, I think. If you can go back a little further. Yeah, so there. So you see, like, it IPO'd, if you can zoom out a little more to the left. So it IPO'd, it had this huge run up, and then the stock kind of just like crashed back down because everyone comes to market and they want to sell out. And then so you have this huge move up and then it kind of breaks lower. But even this year, if I bring up, let me see a couple of recent IPOs. If you look at, let's say, for example, App Lovin', you know, you IPO, you have this big run up, you double, and then after you kind of crash back down. It's like this repetitive thing that happens over and over, and everyone gets stuck in it. So you see your IPO, you went from, $60 to almost $100, and then you fell over. Or TSP, Too Simple Holdings.
TSP.
You IPO'd, you had this really quick run up, then you fell back over. So same with Unity or Palantir. I mean, it's that repetitive pattern. Like, a lot of stock comes to market after and it knocks it back down. It doesn't mean the stock is dead forever, because these young companies are really the best place to find these big winners. But in the first 6 months to 12 months, when that expiration window, that lockup expiration comes into play, it creates a really specific short-term dynamic in the stock that you have to be careful of. It could turn out like a really good winner into a huge loser. So, it's just something to be aware of.
Yeah. So it's really best when you're trading an early name to, whenever it rallies, to sell portions of the profits into strength.
Yeah. If you have a recent IPO, like with an only IPO in the past 3-4 months, and you have this really fast 50, 60, 70% gain, take the profit and, I don't know, go buy your wife something, because or else the market's going to take it back.
Yeah. So would you trade these types of setups maybe after the first move, it gives a short-term consolidation? Would you trade that or not anymore since you didn't get it in the first breakout here?
I mean, you could. It's just you have to. The problem. Look at the way when it was basing in May and June. Look how small the bars were, right? So each day's range is very small, and then when you start getting into June, July, each day's range is huge. So everything I do, I always look at what my risk is versus how much I'm going to make. So if I have really small bars, really small, where my risk is $1.50, $2, let's say on a $40 stock, that's great. If my risk is $2, I think I can make $10. That's 5 times what I'm risking. But if the daily ranges turn into $10 ranges on a $50 stock, or $7, $8 ranges, so my risk is now 12, 15%. I always want to think that I can make at least 5 times what I'm risking, or else it's not worth my effort. So if the range on these stock charts become 12, 14% daily ranges, I don't know. It's not every stock that turns around and jumps 60% in the next week or two, So I'll probably wait for it to settle down and touch it somewhere. It's really a matter of what the risk is. They're not always this crazy. Sometimes they spike up and they calm down beautifully and the volatility dies down. But if the volatility is huge as it is here, I probably wait, because it's just not that it can't go up. But when you're trading like a professional, it's more about not just making profit, but every dollar you make, the risk can't be too big to take it, because you're doing this long term. So eventually that risk is going to bite you. So you have to I always think of everything risk first. If the risk is too much, I don't care what the profit could be. I don't want to do it. So I'm always looking at the risk, and the daily ranges are huge. I mean, to me, it's like it's untouchable. Like I don't want to risk $6-7 on a $60 stock just to try and make $6. It's a coin flip. I mean, I'm risking $1 to make $1. It's not interesting anymore.
Got it. And we actually have one of our viewers who asked if you could share a recent losing trade and how you handled the position.
Oh, I mean, I always have losing trades. I lose more often than I make, but when I make, I want to be. They want them to be huge trades. So let me just bring up a second my trade book here. But definitely, I have losers all the time. I mean, nobody. I don't care who you are. Everybody always has losers. I mean, I know hedge fund managers. I know monster portfolio guys. I mean, everybody has losers. It's just part of the process. It's just how you manage them that counts. Let me bring up here. Bring up my charts. Okay, sure. So here's one. So if you bring up Roku, ROKU. So for example, this was a profitable trade for me. So I had bought this in June, coming out of, when I got back through that average and we started to move higher. It wasn't a huge winner because then it kind of came back down. But where I kind of, so in that area, I was buying stock. When it broke up, I added to it. But then after earnings, you can see we kind of gapped down to the average. That was on, that was on August 5th. We gapped down.
Yeah, August 5th, somewhere around here.
We gapped that. That's right. So, and that we gapped down to the average, but it was really strong. So we kind of gapped down and we closed really strongly that day. And I liked what they were talking about, but what I didn't know at the time yet, and this is why it's important that you know the story, is, Roku, for those who don't know what they do, is they build those sticks that you can kind of stream TV, but also they build a lot of the operating systems for a lot of the major TV producers like TCL, Hisense, RCA. And so they get all the advertising dollars from people who now want to advertise on these platforms to people watching TV. I think it's a huge market. So when I saw the gap down in earnings, but then it closed really strong off of that average, I said, okay, whoa. So, that's great action. I bought some that day, but I didn't know that behind the scenes already, Amazon, which is a competitor, is now, they made some deals where they're going to bring TVs to market with their Amazon Fire platform, which is a direct competitor to Roku. It's the first time they did that. And so when that news broke a few days later, it kind of rolled over and broke back down. So I sold the stock when it broke the low of that green bar off the average, and I had to move along. And that's why you have to control your risk, because, it ended up being a small loss because I didn't have a big position in it. But if you would have held on or kept adding to it as it kept falling, this thing just kept falling and falling. It's still falling, and I don't know where it's going to go. So that's an example of a recent loser that I had.
Yeah. So Matt, I know you you gotta go attend. You know, it's Sunday. I don't want to take too much of your time, but maybe I kind of want to ask. I think a lot of people are in the audience are also really curious because could you share with us, right? Maybe you're just really just in a gist your overall experience in the U.S. Investing championships. Like, what was it like competing in the competition? Because actually in the Philippines, we us Investograms, we also hold the trading competition. It's the biggest one in the Philippines.
Oh,
It's not real money yet because you know there's a lot of but it was the first major competition that was paper trading, right? And
okay.
we've been doing that for the past 5 or 6 years,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
only during in a 3 month period, right? But we
Okay.
give away, yeah, and then the winners and then there's cash prizes for whoever gets to the top. Like total prize pool last year was like a million pesos, something like that, a million Philippine pesos. But yeah, how was your experience in the competition? Because trading in and of itself is already such an emotional and
Yeah.
psychological battle in itself. But when you're doing it in a competition setting, how much different was it, and what did you learn right after competing?
You know, the biggest difference is it's really psychological. So, you know, this competition, like when I grew up, when I was reading these books, you know, like Market Wizards, like all the greats, like Paul Tudor Jones and David Ryan. I mean, like they were guys who won these in the 80s and 90s, and that's you know they were some of the guys that got me interested in wanting to trade. And so in 2019, I saw he restarted the championship. I said, "Oh, great!" I mean, because I used to love trading on the trading desk. You know, when I was trading pro, we were like 20 guys. It was really fun. It was kind of like a college atmosphere. Everyone was like friends and joking and trading stocks together. And so when I went on my own, like it was great because like financially, it was I kept all the profits. I liked it, but I missed having people to compete against. Like for me, it's a competition. I like it. It's fun. So when I saw the competition come back, I said, "Oh, great opportunity!" And I joined it just for fun, see what I could do. But you know, I joined with my whole real account. You know, this was like my professional case. I know some people put like, you know, $20,000 just to you know and go as crazy as they wanted to. But for me, it wasn't go crazy. It was my real account. I couldn't afford to blow it up. So I was really risk conscious. Like, you know, it happened to be a great year. And at first it didn't do much to me, but when I started to end up like in second place, third place, first place, it was a lot of pressure because a lot of people were really watching. And, you know, like I'm usually a private guy, and on Twitter, I started to get thousands of followers, and people were, so suddenly it was kind of a real big change in dynamic. And especially in September when I had broken the records of the competition at that point, it was like, you know, it was interesting because some, you know, newspapers, magazines want interviews, and it was just like that pressure kind of messes a bit with your psychological game, because then after you're thinking more about winning the competition than making the right trade, and that's not the way you should ever think. And even you know, even when I was trading pro, I remember when I first started trading pro, I'd been trading my own account, and I never bothered me to lose money when I trade my own account. I mean, it's just part of the game. But suddenly when you had you know, someone looking over your trades saying like, hey, you know, it's not a good month for you, like what's going on, just that pressure of someone watching over you is a different mental challenge. And the biggest mistakes most people make in the market are all you know, psychological mistakes. Because I mean, the different, like the stuff I use to trade is stuff William O'Neill talked about 40 years ago, and the stuff he built was stuff that Jesse Livermore spoke about 100 years ago. So it's not like there's no special indicator that makes one guy really good and one guy bad. It's really, it's learning the tools, building a strategy, having the right risk management. It's really like, you know, running it like a proper business. And so the competition was a lot of fun, but just like that psychological pressure was something that I had to kind of get used to. And you know, it's just something you get used to. And you know, it's a lot of pressure, but you start to, actually this year I was going to do it again, but I had planned a trip to Hawaii with my family, which then got canceled because of COVID. So I said I'll probably just do the championship next year anyways. But that's why I didn't end up doing it this year. But it was a lot of fun, and it's a lot of great. But you'll see, I mean, it's really great the paper trading that you guys are doing that, because it allows you to practice. But you don't get that psychological impact because the money's not yours. Like when I used to play poker online with friends, but it was fake money. You know, you're very quick to go all in because if you lose, you don't lose any money. But if you have a big stack of your own money on the table, you're not going to go all in on a pair of eights. You know what I mean? Like you're going to wait for really good stuff. So that psychological component is just so important. That's where a lot of people make mistakes.
Got it. So Matt, before I let you go, of course, I want to say thank you so much for your time, for going on the stream Sunday morning where you're at. And to everyone watching, kindly comment down below if you learned something in our short session here.
Oh wait,
Thank
hey
you,
Paulo, we didn't do the
Matt.
raffle for the free. Are you gonna do that
Oh
afterward?
yeah, we were actually gonna do it maybe a little bit later.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to do it
Yeah.
now. No, no worries. No worries.
Yeah. So to everyone, just comment. Thank you, Matt. It's our first time having you here. But of course, to all of our Investa Summit attendees, so this is just a warm up. And I was there when Matt was doing his presentation. It was really insightful, and yeah, I'm just really excited for you guys to watch it. So Matt, maybe before I let you go for real, do you have any final messages maybe to the trading community here in the Philippines that you want to say?
I would just say, it's really a matter of hard work. Like I started off, I'm a middle class guy, so like the first money I got to invest with was money I made working part time as a teenager at McDonald's, made like flipping hamburgers. So it's not as if like I came from a background of investment professionals. It's really I really loved it. I worked on it every day, every night. It was really my passion. So if I could do it, I mean, all I did was by reading books and working hard and just saving whatever money I had to do it. So there's no secret. Anybody could really do it. Actually, most people I know who are successful traders are guys who really just learned it on their own and just really loved what they did. So I say, don't treat it like gambling, treat it like a business. This is something that you can do and it can serve you for all of your life. You can always increase your wealth and build. It doesn't have to be very aggressive, but keep working at it, work hard. And I say anyone can do it. And that's the beautiful thing about investing, is that it's really an opportunity for anyone to have a business of their own and do something that's really a lot of fun. And just the promo code Paulo for people, if they want I was going to extend the launch discount for everyone listening today. It's Investa Live as a promo code. Maybe you can type it out after for them.
Got it.
Paulo?
Investa Live.
Yeah, if when they go to the website, if they put that in the promo code box, it'll give them the $300 off discount. So
got it. Again, so if you guys, you're trading the US market or you want to learn directly from Matt, just head over to carusoinsights.com.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, my name is @trader_M Caruso. Maybe you can put that up too, Paulo, and I'll just type it in the chat for you.
Got it. It's at what?
Here, I put it in the private chat, so maybe you can.
Got it.
With a capital T.
There we go.
There you go. So thanks a lot. Thanks so much for having me. It was a real pleasure. And like I said, everyone just keep working at it. And it's a beautiful business. It's a lot of fun. So just keep working at it.
Got it. So Matt, thank you again so much for your time, sir. And I guess I'll see you again on the live Q&A for the Investa Summit VIP. So yeah.
I look forward to it. Great.
Right,
by the way, great summit you put together. Fantastic. I can't wait to hear the other speakers. It looks really, really interesting.
Thank you. And we really appreciate you being part of our event. Thank you for replying to me on Twitter. Really.
My pleasure. Really nice to meet you, Renzo.
Nice to meet you, sir. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Matt. I'll see you next week for the.
You got it. Perfect.
Right.
Thanks.
Bye. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
All right.
So yeah. Hopefully you guys. Pwede na mag-Tagalog, boy. Sana na-enjoy nyo yun. Yeah, did you? Sana pala, Boss Matt lang malupit. Pero baka awkward kasi...
Baka hindi niya ma-gets. So.
Guys, funny story. Sa sobrang busy ko mag-organize ng summit, nakalimutan ko na sasama siya sa live. As in, nag-email siya sa akin. Kaya sabi ko, Renz,
sabi na nga ba?
Sabi ko, sasama nga pala si Matt. Kaya nagulat ako, nag-email siya. Sabi ko nga pala, shit, nakalimutan ko. But yeah, super impromptu. Lahat ng questions at tinanong namin ni Renz, off of the top of our mind yun. So, and then but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And again, he was one of our international speakers, right? Part of the summit. And his presentation was like an hour and a half, I think, an hour and 15 minutes. And he's just one of the, one of the six people who are international speakers and sobrang insightful lang ng presentation nila. Right? And ang kagandahan is global markets, your example, we get exposed to global markets. But yung kay Tom Baso pala, that was an interview. It was an interview I did. Renzo was with me for an hour and a half. An hour and a half, we did the interview at 6 in the morning. And it was just really fun. I'm talking, nasanay ako magsalita sa English. But yeah, it was really fun. And yeah, it is the first time we got these guys into our events here in the Philippines. Nag-English naman ako, but yeah, hopefully ma-enjoy niyo. So if you enjoyed that session with Matt, I'm telling you, that was patikim lang yun. As in, di ba, Renz, sa presentation niya
sobrang comprehensive kung gusto niyo talagang mag-up yung trading game niyo.
Yeah. Parang ano lang yun.
For
Yung
sure.
sinare nyo yung patikim lang talaga. Ang dami yung
Oo.
sinare sa presentation.
Kwentuhan lang yung ngayon.
Yeah. So yun, hopefully, again, if you guys wanna join the summit, just head over to investagrams.com/Investa Summit. So hopefully,
Yo.
we can see you guys there, and hopefully yung mga bumili ng ticket, mag-enjoy kayo. So guys, now that we're done with that, we're gonna move forward with the raffle. So this is gonna be for our VIPs of the summit. And Renz, can you while I bring up the raffle software, can you share kung ano ba yung mga ipamimigay natin today? Nasa caption siya ng live kung hindi mo alam. Hindi mo memorize. Yeah. Basahin mo lang. Teka lang. Pastor ako
Alright.
kasi. Yeah.
Okay, so kung nandito kayo, no, hindi pa tapos ang ating session, meron pa tayong pa-prizes as usual, no? So today, babasahin ko lang yung nasa poster natin. Meron tayong InvestaPrime Elite. Meron tayong mananalo ng access sa Investa Online Summit last 2020, no? Meron din tayong VOD access for some of our Trading Cup Defense. Meron din tayong, tama ba? Tama, Trading Cup
Yeah,
Defense.
okay, I'll go
diba?
back to it. So, we're gonna be giving away. Ano ba ang pamimigay natin yan? Teka, balik ako yung caption. Ito ako sa Facebook, balik ako yung caption ng post. Hindi ko memorize. So, sobrang dami na yung pamimigay today for our VIPs. Hindi ko memorize. So, today, we will be giving away 3 winners ng 1 month access sa Prime, 5 winners ng 1K cash, 1 winner ng InvestaPrime Elite Annual worth 10,000 pesos, 1 winner ng VOD Recording and Trading Cup Defense 2019, 1 winner ng recording access to Investa Summit last year, 2020, and 1 winner, shout out sa ZFT community, comment down below if taga ZFT ka, 1 winner ng Technical Intensive, which is their high-level program or course. Like if you really want to learn the ZFT system, take it to the next level, learn directly from the team, from the man himself, Boss Z. You know, this is their big program, which I think they hold 2 or 3 times a year. This is the one for next year. It's something they really prepare for. Like they prepare for it for months, they execute it, then they prepare for the next one. So it's really something you don't attend. I mean, you can't attend all the time. Right? It's really
Rare
minsan lang,
opportunity.
diba? Yeah, so they were so generous to give away 1 slot to that, which I believe is worth 50K something, parang ganun. So yeah, or a little bit more. But yeah, hopefully, good luck sa mga nalo nun. And of course, 1 winner ng amazfit BIP U Pro smartwatch. And then for our live viewers, bibigyan ko kayo ng chance. Please, share the stream, follow the instructions. Share the stream, tag 3 friends, use the hashtag InvestaSummit 2021. We'll be giving away 1 basic pass, 1 standard pass, and 1 VIP pass to the Investa Summit. So, ang daming ipamimigay ngayon. Good luck to everybody. So, huwag na natin patagalin pa. Kasi ang daming pamimigay. Let's get it. You know, sabi ni good idea. Malupit ang mga speaker. Salamat, boss.
Yun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, guys. Ito yung Twitter ni Matt Caruso. Make sure to follow him. Honestly, I messaged him on Twitter to speak for the summit, and he was so nice to reply to me. But yeah. So yun. Okay, let's get it. Hamana. Sana yung rap. Okay. So, Renz, pwede ka na mag-music.
Alright.
Alright. Ay, nag-echo. Boy.
Baka sa simula.
Ayun, hello. Ayun, okay na. So, game, let's start with 3 winners of 1 month access to the InvestaPrime Plus. Teka. Share ko yung screen pala ng raffle. Yan. Okay, game. Pick a random name. Our first winner ng Prime Plus. Congratulations to Vince Bravo. Congrats, Vince Bravo. 1 month access to the InvestaPrime Plus. Renz, call on my next winner.
Okay, so ang next winner natin, drum roll please. Sana excited kayo. Congratulations kay Yon. Monomania. Congrats sa'yo.
Monomania, congrats. Let's call on our next winner. 1 month access sa InvestaPrime Plus. Congratulations to Bernie M or Bernem. Bernie. Yeah. Congrats sa'yo. Let's go on to our next winners. Ito, 5 winners ng 1,000 pesos. Okay.
Uy, 1,000 pesos.
1,000 pare. Bigyan ng 1,000. So, first winner,
Bro.
R-Vax.
Yo, congrats.
Walang
R
next
Vax.
boy.
Okay, so next winner, drum roll. And
Tanan.
congratulations, Sky. Congratulations, Vic 20916. Congrats.
Alright. Our next winner. And guys, by the way, nakalimutan ko, please comment down below. Hashtag Investa Summit lang malupit.
Yun.
Pangatlo to, no? Pangatlo sa cash.
Oh, pangatlo. Alright.
Congrats! Mang underscore.
Orle.
Mang underscore. Orle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Game Reds, 4th winner.
For the 4th one, congratulations, Sky. Let's go. Yo, congratulations, Noel 15923729966.
Yo, sa boy.
Okay na yun.
Last winner na, no? Pang-apat yun, pang-lima.
Oh.
1,000 pesos dahil VIP ka sa Investa Summit. Dahil
Yun.
VIP ka lang, may 1,000 pesos, may cashback ka na. So, Rasman Trader, congrats sa panalo ka ng 1,000 pesos dahil VIP ka sa Investa Summit.
Yun.
Alright, next. Now we're going to be giving away VOD access to... Oh, and we're also going to give away yung course ni Matt. Ni Matt Caruso. I forgot. We're also going to be giving away that one winner for that. That's going to be last. I think that's pretty pricey, I think. That's kasi sobrang... Yeah, kasi yung discount, nag-off yung Investa Live, the promo code. If you go to CarusoInside.com, that's a $300 discount, you know, so might be pretty big kasi high level nga tinuturo niya. But yeah. So,
Alright.
kaya, may nagpapa-shoutout. Boss, ikaw yung pinakamalupit tao na kilala ko.
Yeah.
So, shoutout sa'yo, Kathleen Mariano. Shoutout sa'yo.
Yun.
Alright, so, saan na tayo?
Yeah, may pa-special shoutout si Boss Tom.
Saan tayo, boy?
Pa-premyo. Tapos na tayo sa...
VOD ng Trading Cup. VOD ng Trading Cup. Okay. Recording access to Trading Cup Defense noong 2019 ata. Congratulations to Lenny 2176.
Yun. Congrats,
Renz,
Lenny.
Callan mo yung winner ng Summit 2020.
Okay, so for our Summit 2020 Online Summit Access VOD, congratulations, Sky. Boss Fishbone. Uy, kilala ko to ah. Ito ang isa sa Investa U winners, graduates natin, si Fishbone. Grabe. Congrats sa'yo, bro. Fishbone.
Wala ah.
Sige.
So, Fishbone. So, ano tayo?
Tapos na ang VOD access sa online summit, pati trading cup. So, next ay yung ano ba? Yung smartwatch.
Yeah,
Or yung ZFT.
wait. One moment.
Sige.
Chat ko lang yung back-end natin. So, ang napamigay na natin is 3 winners sa 1 month prime, 5 winners sa 1K cash, VOD sa Trading Cup, tsaka sa Summit 2020. Ang next ay pamimigay natin is yung 1 winner ng amazfit Big U Pro Smartwatch.
Alright. Solid nun. Para sa mga gustong magka-healthy lifestyle.
So, give me 1 second.
Okay. Investa Summit lang malupit.
Wait lang, pare.
Sige.
Mag-stall ka muna sa dali. Teka lang, salita ka muna. Shoutout ka muna. Sino
muna
gusto mo
tayo.
pa-shoutout?
Happy B. Jollibee. Shout out kay Daphne. Shout out kay Chino. Alright. Sana nag-enjoy kayo sa session natin today. No? Ako, nakikisingit lang ako. Wala ako masyadong ambag sa sa talk natin with Mats.
Pare, ito nga, tingnan mo, bago tayo mag-move on sa raffle, tingnan mo, guys, comment kayo kung agree kayo dito ha. May nag-comment kasi nito.
Oh.
Magdedepende yung mangyayari sa mga susunod na charting session sa comment yun. May nag-comment. Ay po siya, ang liit. Nakabasa ba?
Oo.
Sabi niya, sana regular partner kayo sa charting. So,
Sino? Si Matt?
tayong dalawa, boy.
Si Matt Caruso ba?
Tayong dalawa, boy. Kanina pa yan. Guys, sinend sa akin ni Francine. Guys, comment naman kayo ng Renzo, bumalik ka. Kapag gusto nyo, bumalik si Renzo next week.
Wag na.
Comment kayo ng Renzo, bumalik ka. Pag gusto nyo, lagi yung kapartner si Renzo. Dati magka-partner kami sa ibang bagay, pero hindi na. Ano?
Gusto ko yung hinanap mo pa yung comment na yan.
Oo, pare. Screen chat ko ba para sa'yo, boy?
Sige. Tingnan natin.
Pare, wala, boy. Wala kang takas ngayon, pare. Ayun, oh. I mean, boy, every Sunday magsasama tayo, boy.
Ano pala? Enzo pala, hindi Renzo.
Hindi, boy, iba yun. Ayun, no? Renzo yan, boy. So, pare, hindi na tayo sa Laguna magsasama. Sa charting session na, boy.
Sige, boy.
Sige po.
Okay. Sige, pa-premyo na tayo.
Ay, hindi Enzo. Renzo, may R. Renzo. Okay, ba't Enzo? Hindi na Enzo. Renzo. Okay. Anyway, balik natin sa raffle. Iba si Enzo, iba ko pang kaibigan yun.
Malupit rin yun sa trade.
So next lang ipapamigay natin is the smartwatch.
Right.
Sana taga Metro Manila ka para madali ibigay. Okay. Pag OFW medyo mahirap ibigay. But okay, let's call on our winner ng smartwatch. Dahil VIP ka ng Investa Summit, congratulations to nanalo na to kahapon. So si ate, sorry ate, pero panalo ka kahapon ng maganda ate yung price mo kahapon eh.
Ang lakas
So
ng odds ni
our
ate.
next winner. Congratulations! Tiniye. Tiniye. Congrats, panalo ka ng smartwatch dahil VIP ka sa Investa Summit.
Congrats sa'yo.
Awesome tandem, pare, sabi.
Sige na. Tama na yung hard sell, pare.
Si Renz, di yan babalik next week eh, kaya kailangan i-push niya.
Grabe.
Kailangan push niya si Renz. So, next is the ito na. One winner ng, we'll do InvestaPrime Elite Annual worth 10K. Then we're gonna do the ZFT Technical Intensive. Shout out to Boss Z and the rest of the gang. May utang pa ako sa inyo yung whole list. Sorry, sobrang na busy na no weekend. Worth, I think, 50K plus. And then yung course ni Matt Caruso last.
Yun.
Worth a couple of hundreds of dollars. But yeah. And then the live viewers, we're gonna give you guys free tickets to the summit. So good luck.
Gusto ko yung shoutout mo yung utang mo kay ZFT.
Bossy, sorry. Nabisi lang. Okay, game. Let's call on our winner for the Prime Annual.
InvestaPrime Elite Annual, congratulations! Napakasulit ng iyong prize. Nanalo to. Teka, nanalo to nung something.
Yung panahon mo?
Oo, nung kay Bear.
Outs, guni-guni. Mukhang magmumuni-muni ka na onte. Sorry. Okay. Random name.
Congratulations kay Von Rian Tordillos.
Yon.
Ang hirap na.
Tordillos, congrats boss. Or ma'am or boss, panalo ka ng 1 year InvestaPrime Elite worth 10,000 pesos. So, parang nasulit na yung VIP, boy. VIP, di ba? 3.5. Tapos, naganalo ka ng premyo. 10,000 yung value. Panalo ka na. And dahil VIP ka na sa summit. And guys, if hindi ka VIP ngayon, we have our final one tomorrow. We actually have our final raffle tomorrow. So hopefully, makahabol pa kayo. Next, won access to Technical Intensive by ZFT. So,
ZFT.
random name.
Stripe.
Congratulations to Naz CH at panalo ka ng one slot to the Technical Intensive by ZFT. So if you guys have any questions about the TI, I know the next one's gonna happen sometime early next year. Please feel free to message their page. Very responsive ang team nila. ZFT is a good friend of ours here sa Investa. Boss Z, speaker in the summit as well, and also a really good person as well. I got the opportunity to know him a little bit more outside of trading. But yeah, so congrats kay Naz CH. If may winners dyan, pamind naman. If nanalo ka. Ayun! Boss, ikaw pala yan.
Yun, si
Boss,
Naz.
si Naz of Nasdaq Clothing. So, boss, si Chris, congratulations. Panalo ka. Congrats.
Nice.
So, ano ka na? Times 15 ang return mo sa Operation Summit VIP. So, congrats, Boss Chris. Boss Chris, just message the ZFT page with your username din, itong NASCH. So, they'll know it's you. But yeah. So, you can send them you can clip this part of the live and then send it to them. But yeah. Okay, next, our final... Oy, nag-chat sa akin si Boss Irving Chin, Ninong. Shout out kung nandito ka. Nag-chat na sa akin. Baya. So, game, let's call on our final winner of yung course ni Matt Caruso.
Uy.
Caruso Insights. So, Renz.
Okay, exciting. Pinaka-solid na prize for today. Congratulations kay Vince.
Nanalo na yan, boy!
Ibang klase yung mga nananalo. Parang nananalo ulit
Nanalo na yan si Vince Bravo, if my memory serves me correctly. So let's call on our next, yung winner natin.
Alright, congratulations kay Poring93. Congratulations sa'yo.
Poring, congrats. You are final winner for tonight for our VIPs. But do not fret. Fret pare. But huwag kayo mag-alala sa mga live viewers natin. We're gonna be giving away free tickets to the summit. Dahil shinare mo yung post. One winner ng Basic Pass, one winner ng Standard Pass, and one winner ng VIP Pass to the summit. So I'm gonna just pull up the live viewers. Here we go. Give me a sec. I just have to change the raffle thing.
Alright. Sana excited kayo. Live viewers, kung nandito pa kayo, may chance kayo manalo.
Wait.
Alright.
Ay, teka. Remove ko muna yung share screen. Magsabi ka na something muna.
Alright. So, shout out.
Kaya pare, dapat magkasama tayo. Kasi pag mag-isa lang ako, si mo, awkward, di ba?
Wala akong masyadong maambag eh. Naghahanap lang ako ng pwedeng.
At least hindi awkward, boy. Teka. Kita mo kanina, kung mag-isa lang ako, tapos ini-email ko si Matt Caruso.
Okay.
Paano ko gagawin yun, boy, pag wala ka?
Sige.
Pero si Kervin, yung dapat di natin ibalik, pare. Pare, ano na yun? Evicted na yun forever. Dalawa daw belly button ko. Dahil sinabi sa
Binuking ka ni Irvin kanina.
Hindi na pwede bumalik yun, pare.
Alright. So, habang inaasikaso ni Boss Toma, sana excited kayo na manalo ng passes sa Investa Summit. So, if late kayo sa stream, marami kayong matututunan sa ating Investa Summit. It's all about trading, NFTs, crypto, stocks, PH stocks, US stocks. Shout out kay John Paul. Shout out sa iyo, boss. Shout out sa mga nagpapa-shout out. Richard S. Bostoma, pa-shout out daw.
Oy, Boss Richard. Shout out. Yeah. Wait lang, pare ah.
Sige lang. Uy, may fans ni Jory or Francine. Dapat daw si Jory at si Francine yung nag-host today.
Sorry. Wala sila. Kami lang yung available.
Di nyo alam si Boss Francine nasa back-end. Tumutulong din.
Hindi, wala siya ngayon.
Ay, wala ba?
Kaya ako
Hindi
lang yung Pare, wait lang
Sure.
No-compile ko lang yung mga pangalan.
Magkano Investa Summit pass pag physical event? So ngayon wala pa tayong physical event ngayon, syempre COVID, pero tingnan natin in the future kung magkaka-physical event na ulit tayo.
Before, no? Masaya din yung before eh. Kaso yung ang hirap kumuha ng international speaker.
Oo.
Tira, pare.
Sige lang. Customer lang, malakas.
Salamat.
Yung mga previous, di ko na maalala kung magkano yung prices nila before. Okay ba mag-invest ngayon? Siyempre. Okay, pa-shout out si Neil.
Alright,
Sabihin ko na hindi natutulog dahil sa Bigo. Ano yung Bigo?
Vivo? Ano Vivo?
Laro ba yun, Bigo?
There's a Vigo. Ano yan? Live streaming platform natin.
Ayun. Grabe.
Alright, okay. I think it's ready. I think I got
Okay.
all the names.
Sana excited kayo, live viewers, para sa inyo to. Diba?
Let me just pop it up. There we go. So, to all of our VIPs, mga hindi pa nanalo, please do not worry. Meron pa tayong mga paraffle tomorrow. And guys, don't worry. Lahat po ng mga VIPs na sa listahan, update before we do the live, before we do the raffle, we get the data, and then we get everyone's name. So don't worry, lahat kayo na doon. Okay, let's pick a name. To all of our live viewers, our first winner, yung basic pass, pare, basic pass. So congrats to, pamain na lang if nandiyan ka pa. Ay, na-share ko ba yung screen? Ay, share ko lang. Paul Laceda.
Yun. Congrats, Paul.
Pamain na lang,
See you.
Paul. If nandyan ka pa. So guys, comment naman kayo ng hashtag. Isa pa. Hashtag Investa Summit lang malupit.
Alright. Hashtag.
Investa Summit lang malupit. Let's go on to our red standard pass naman.
Okay. For the next prize, our standard pass to Investa Summit. Congratulations kay Mayet C. Troy Daniel. Congratulations. Pamain. Pa-comment na lang, boss.
Yun, Mayet, congrats. Ayan, si Paul Laceda. Paul, congrats. So guys, ito na. We're gonna be giving away the VIP pass. Good luck sa mananalo. Hopefully, if... by the way, if you guys already are a VIP and you win, ano ba mangyayari? I think maybe we can talk about if you want to gift it to someone else, maybe we can do something like that. Let's talk about it with the CS team, but Baya. Okay, dami na nagko-comment na VIP pass.
Alright.
Dami nagko-comment. So, ibig sabihin nun, mga di pa bumibili. Joke lang. Mga di wala pa sa summit. Joke lang. But yeah. Pick a random name. Tantarnan. So, congrats at panalo ka ng VIP pass sa VIP pass sa Investa Summit 2021. Congratulations to
kay
Bernard Garcia. So, Bernard, nandiyan ka pa ba? Hindi ba bibili Summit? So, Bernard, kahit nalalamunan ko, Bernard. Pero congrats kung nandyan ka. Ayan si Mayet. Mayet, congrats. So, Bernard, boss, nandyan ka pa ba? Kung wala, ipamimigay ko to sa iba. Joke lang. Boss Bernard sa yan.
Bernard.
So, Boss
Ayun,
Bernard.
dito si Boss Bernard.
Ayun. Boss Bernard, congratulations at panalo ka ng VIP access to the Investa Summit. So guys, for me and Renzo, before we end, I just wanna teka lang, bago tayo mag-end. Meron pa tayong isa pang special guest.
Oo.
Joke lang pare, alam ko paganda tayo boy, joke lang. Hindi, bago tayo mag-end boy, gusto ko lang Tom Baso! Sa oras na naman tayo dito boy. Hindi guys, gusto ko lang i-highlight ulit. Congrats syempre sa mga winners natin, diba? And yeah, Investa Summit is 2 days away. Tomorrow is your last chance. I mean, you can still actually purchase during the event period. Ay, hindi na pala pwede. Ay, nakalimutan ko ba? But yeah, basta 2 days left. You don't want to miss out. I don't want to plug it not too much. Alam mo, you guys know what's up to those who are still here. Everything's ready. We're just waiting for you guys. So again, if you want to be part of our final raffle tomorrow, ito na lang. And yeah, VIPs. Sigo pare, sa 3.5 na binayad mo, sa raffle may mga worth 10K, worth 50K, worth hundreds of dollars, or worth more, kahit break even. So parang libre na yung summit, may smartwatch ka pa, di ba boy?
May profit ka pa.
Kumita ka pa boy. Kumita ka pa pare.
Oo. Invest.
So again, shout out syempre sa mga event partners natin, XM and Limitless Investor, and to Open Journal and the rest of the gang who helped us make our event possible.
Yun.
So let me just take this out. So yun, boy. And
Alright.
lastly, I just want to highlight this again. We're on the road to the summit. It's our final day tomorrow. Free webinars for the community. Tomorrow, we might have to, we might have to switch up the topic a little bit, but the guest tomorrow is exciting. So yep. Nice rin. Sa panga, silip ka ulit.
Ayoko na.
Isa pa, dali. Isa pa, boy. Isa pa. Di ko to, parang di tayo matatapos pag di mo inulot yun.
Ayan.
Ay, hindi ko natanggal. Sayang.
Anyway. Okay, so thank you guys sa mga nanood ngayon, no? If nandito pa kayo since the beginning, grabe. Solid yung yung supportan nyo. So kung hindi nyo naabutan yung announcement kanina, no, ito yung mahalagang announcement. Si Toma may 2 belly buttons. Pero joke lang, syempre.
Boy, pakubanin ko shirt ko, pare. Baka may naniniwala eh. Baka may
syempre suspense na yun para sa viewers natin. Pero thank you guys for being here with us and para sa mga susuporta sa Investa Summit. Sobrang ginagawa talaga namin to para sa inyo, para matuto kayo, para ma-educate lahat ng Pilipino. Sobrang pinaghirapan to ni Boss Toma. So appreciate natin siya, appreciate natin yung team. And we appreciate everyone who is here with us today. Sana na-entertain kayo. Grabe yung session with Matt kanina. Sobrang dami kong natutunang insights. Medyo tahimik na ako.
Email niya. Okay, ayun.
Ayun. So, ayun guys, sana nag-enjoy kayo. And see you sa event.
And before I let you guys go, may isa pa palang program na meron, pare. Nakalimutan ko i-plug. Isa sa mga sponsors natin sa Investa Summit. Of course, check out Renzo's Bicep Maximization.
Bumawi.
Hey, si Renzo. Ito, kwento lang. Si Renzo, pag nasa office kami, lumalabas kasi yan mga 4. Hindi ko sabihin kung bakit. Hindi niya sinasabi sa amin eh. Pero ang assumption namin, ang thesis namin sa office, pag umabalik, medyo pawis na eh. So, mga 4 yun. So, ang assumption namin is, bubuhat yan, bicep curls yan sa Anytime Fitness. So if you guys wanna, ba't mo tinanggal boy? So if you guys wanna learn how to maximize your bicep, your bicep curls, diba? Wanna build your muscle. Subscribe lang kayo sa sa RBMP, Renzo Bicep Maximization Program. Babaw yun. So yun lang, and guys, merong question dito na, paano mag-OFW? Ayan, RBMP. All the talks are pre-recorded. So you can watch it at your own pace, at your own time. At the same time, yung live Q&As, if you're VIP, it's also recorded. So even if you can attend the Q&A live, you can get access to that kasi VIP ka and recorded yan lahat. So don't worry about it. So yep. So yun. I think that ends the stream for the night. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Honestly, wasn't expecting it to be this long. But Renz, boy, salamat guys. Comment naman tayo ng thank you kay Renzo. Comment naman kayo lang. #Renzo lang malupit. Para bago tayo umalis. Para bumalik siya next week. Para bumalik si Renzo next week. Tuloy kayo ng hashtag Renzo lang malupit.
Oh, ito, boy. Tanggalin mo yan.
Ba't mo tinanggal, boy? Antayin natin dumating yung mga comments.
Nawala yung ano? Yung Toma belly buttons, nawala. Oh.
Dinelete ko, boy. Ayun na, so yan.
Okay.
Renz, next week boy,
Okay.
pag wala na si Renzo, di na rin ako mag-chart. Kaya,
Wow.
message. Kaya, kailangan piniti yun talaga.
Sige na. See you next week.
Renzo, biceps lang malupit. Kaya, yan, gusto ko.
Grabe yung pag-scam mo. Pag nakita nila.
Ako ba yung grabe mag-scam, boy? Kayo yung nagsabi na 2 belly button pa. Sige. Okay, guys. Salamat ulit sa lahat nakasama natin sa live tonight. See you guys tomorrow for the Road to Investa Summit. Summit's in 2 days, so hopefully we can see you there. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday nights. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Alright, boy, Ren, salamat. End na natin yung stream.
Okay. Salamat.
Alright. Bye-bye.